Sounds good. I'll just turn on my camera now and just wait for you.
You are officially live. We are officially live. Let me adjust one of these settings real quick. Welcome on in, everybody. LG AHL. It's season 48 time. Season 47 just ended a couple weeks ago. That's right. We saw everything here on the Mezcast. What's going on, Nikki P? We'll get the hydrate started here shortly, though. Likely tonight we're gonna start with the coffee. That's right. We have got the Java poured up. We've got Birexsie here with us. We've got a great party. Birexsie, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am doing wonderfully. Super excited as always for a new LG season. This is only my third official season. One playing, one fully in the booth. Now we start season number 2 in the booth. What's going on, Driz? Driz, I'm curious. You all signed up? Is there a possibility we might see you go in the AHL tonight? Let me get swapped over here. We'll go to we're getting the right setup. Uh-oh, webcam not right. Birexsie, why don't you give us a preview? You got a couple of players you're expecting to see go tonight, or you're interested to see if maybe they make the jump up?
I am definitely interested in seeing if Crow gets in there. Played against him a couple times. He's pretty good. Who else we got? Kane. Birexsie bid.
Okay. Okay. That's certainly a question as well, Baker. You got re-signed. Okay, so Driz, you're back in the CHL again. Does that mean that you are playing for the Ottawa 67s? And who's the owner? I'm curious what the situation is there, because I think maybe LeBig. Is LeBig still running? I think Big Door is taking a step away. Definitely a super elite goal scorer from the CHL. I'm always curious to see when he's going to get the big call up, because he's one of the best scorers I know, but I know he's taken this season away. Officially, it's a vanity swap. Oh, it is? Big Door is the owner? Oh, no crap. Well, then I'm super excited to call some Moose Jaw Warrior games. I can tell you that right now. We'll be on the lookout for him. Congrats to him on getting ownership. He's quickly ascending the ranks. Glad to hear the story, and welcome on in, everybody. We got a full-on party. Let's not waste too much time, though. I'm going to go ahead and get us swapped on over. Uh-oh, our artwork is wrong. Bump, bump, bump. Well, we'll figure that out. In the meantime, let me go ahead and get it loaded up with the LG website. That'll be what's most important. We'll be watching the bids, see what players get selected, who puts in an early bid. Of course, there's a ton of strategy that comes involved. Anybody who's ever played in a auction-style fantasy league knows exactly what I mean. Do you be patient? Do you let a lot of the teams surge out, spend a bunch of money on a couple of elite players, and you fill your team with more mid-end talent? Or do you strike early? Do you go find those real couple players that you know are going to make an impact, maybe that fell through the NHL bidding process? How about you, Birexsie? What's your draft style?
Ooh, I don't know. I haven't really even thought about that, honestly.
I get it.
Yeah, I don't even know. I guess we'll have to find out, right? It's my first time, so I guess I'll find out.
Okay. Are you officially in ownership for a team? Are you helping with that, or just in watching it this go round?
No, I'm just watching.
Okay.
Just gonna watch and play.
Well, there's certainly plenty of fun. There are a ton of bids out the gate, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna get this swapped over here in just a moment. We'll also get our AHL logo updated here. But let me get display capture set up correctly. Nope, that's showing the wrong thing. Throw it up to the other screen. Gonna have to zoom in just because there's so much happening. We're gonna talk about the top of the board to get started. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. AHL bidding has started out the gate. Let's see if I can get this sorted by cash here. Sort by bid update. I want to see this ascending, though, right? Seems to be no real rhyme or reason despite it saying it's updated. So I'm Fidel Cash Flow, $2 million out the gate. Rhyme Attack 34. Couple of defensemen going near the top of bidding here. Interested to see if we get a jump in some elite scores. Maybe somebody's waiting. I see it's Carter. $2.5 million. So straight out the gate. Lots of money. All right, let's sort by full on price here. We get an even better version of it. Mimic, $6 million for a center. CM97. Right defenseman, $6 million. Clinch, $5 million. Bug, $4 million. So defenseman and center. But you look at that. Continue my count there. I believe, what is that? 6 of the top 12 are defensemen in the AHL, ladies and gentlemen. People know what they're looking for. Thank you, D-Mac. I appreciate the love. I was working to get it there. You'd figure sort by bid would be correct, but I think that's by number of bids, perhaps. Ballsy, Garbs, It's Carter, Gaber, 4 through 8 on bids right now. This is when things are really going to move right here at the top. But as time progresses on, this will slow down. We'll get a little bit better. We'll get a little bit more. All right, Rexy, what shocks you out the gate?
Gaber with the 3 mil.
Okay.
I'm surprised he's not more, because he's actually a pretty good D-man.
I think especially with only 2 bids, I think we may see that one rise. I'm definitely got an eye on Filet, 2 rows down from him. $2.25 million. I'm particularly familiar with Filet's play. He's a real solid defenseman.
Mimic with that 6 mil too. That's crazy.
Yeah. I think there hasn't sometimes been enough emphasis really on centers in all the leagues, and I think it's starting to come that way more and more with how much you can get off of a face-off, everything else that can happen. I've got an alert box to fix. Sorry, everybody. And then I'm also going to get caught up because we've got a few people that definitely deserve some love. We'll pop it right there in the center. We're going to get it started right by getting my co-host hooked up here. So, Birexsie, a.k.a. Rexy, appreciate the follow and welcome on in. Neil Rambo, appreciate the follow. Raw B3234. Appreciate the follow and welcome on in. Rabbit TX14, welcome to the Mezcast. Glad to have you here. Nano, NAXOG, wanted to say Nano there, but my brain would not let it happen. Welcome on in. Loading Win 7 minutes ago. We're still catching up just a little bit. Isa Evo, appreciate the follow. T-Squad hitting that Prime subscription. So T-Squad, welcome on into the Prime booth. Glad to have you here. T-Squad immediately following up with the follow as well. And II2Lee7II. Welcome on in, folks. If this is your first time on the Mezcast, we are covering the LG AHL bidding right now. Here in just once the season starts, of course, you can always catch the Mezcast here announcing games. So we will definitely open next Sunday night. Not only are we going to have the NCAA draft here next Saturday, the following night, next Sunday. Double checking my date, making sure I'm not crazy. That's right, June 16th will be opening night, and we will have Quad Box. We'll showcase all 4 of our champions, NHL, AHL, ECHL, and CHL, of course, right now in our AHL bidding. Let's do a quick refresh, see who's jumped up in price. And I need to figure out how to get one more screen capture here. All right, think if I... move it there. You're going full screen. And I think if I... nope, that's the wrong screen to capture. There we go. Getting you live on screen there. Got Birexsie hanging out here with us. We got AHL bidding night going on. Welcome on in, everybody. Glad to have you here. Scalper says Pucky. Is that just our general game of puck that we got going on? We got King Doog Doogie 18. Appreciate the follow and welcome on in. Bilbo, your quest is over. You have arrived here. We got the party going on. Sure my volume's right. Yeah, the music's just at the right level. I've got double alert boxes. Let's fix that real quick. All right, that one turned off. What's going on, Bilbo? Good to see you out there. T-Squad as well. Again, welcome on in. This first hour likely to give us the most action here. Ballsy jumping up, $4.25 million. Top Titans, a center, $4 million. 4 bids on them. Now, see, these are the ones I love to watch out for. Fug 84. One bid, one team, straight out the gate for $4 million. Did you overbid? Could you have gotten for $2 million, or do you just ward everybody off immediately and say, this is my guy? Or gal.
Yeah. I mean, he is a good D-man. I'll give him that.
Okay. Okay. A Brizzle 111.
At 4 mil, though.
Welcome on in. And maybe a little aggressive. Bilbo says, trying to stay $750K. I don't want to be overpay. I mean, there's a lot you can bring to a team when you come in as a lower bid. You know, it's the same way as finding a steal in the 11th or 12th round if we were drafting that long. So you think theoretically we would have 14 rounds. There's 17 players per team, 2 goalies, and then 3 lines of 5. If you're unfamiliar with LG, ladies and gentlemen, it is a massive, massive hockey league out there. X-NATO1 coming in with the Prime sub. Welcome on into the Prime booth, X-NATO1. Glad to have you here. That gets you ad-free viewing always, including the NCAA draft. That'll be here next Saturday. Unfortunately, I will not be able to follow up with ECHL or CHL bidding nights. But we are here tonight for AHL, making sure we try to show you everything. Let me remove the bookmark bar. You don't fully need everything there, including the Plex. Oh, God. Oh, God. Let's just fix that. When nothing's going right, nothing's going right, Birexsie.
I know, right? But then again, you want to be a professional streamer if it didn't.
Exactly, exactly. Trying to think of who messed it up. The show must go wrong. All right, it didn't knock me out. Perfect. There we go. Just that much more space for you. Full vision of the board. We're going to give it another refresh. Who's going for elite money? Got to sort by price again. CM97X up to $7.5 million. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a new top tier leader in the bid. Now, normally this would be reserved for that hat trick horn, but I'll tell you what, folks, we are going to be hitting it right here. I think every new top tier bid deserves a hat trick horn.
Oh, yeah. He came out of nowhere, too.
Rapier Esports. Hey, that's... Oh, we got it all right here. Tonight's the start. It all builds towards playoffs. What?
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs?
I have way too much fun with it, Rexy. There's no doubt on that. I have way too much fun with the with the soundboard, with everything that we got going on.
Yeah. And you got your suit on and everything.
Absolutely, absolutely. If you've never seen the content here before, I actually walked around recently. I went to DreamHack Dallas last weekend, walking around with this in my suit. So I always announce here when I am whenever I'm announcing, I'm always in a suit. So it doesn't matter where I am. Even last weekend at DreamHack Dallas, I got to announce some truly unique games out there. I got to play a new pod racing style game that I got to announce for that was just super fun that you just don't get to see everywhere. Rapier Esports, appreciate the follow and welcome on in. Glad to have you here. Rapier says, tell Birexsie I love her and miss her.
I love you too. Miss you.
Y'all play on a team together previously?
Yeah, we played a couple leagues together.
Okay. Go Patar, appreciate the follow. Glad to have you here. Welcome on in. I think that's one of the truly unique things. As a newbie, really, still to the NHL community. This is my first year in NHL. This is my first year in Shell as a PC gamer. Which, by the way, gotta say, love the beautiful computer there in the background.
I appreciate it.
Do you mind telling me about your specs a little bit? What you got in there?
So I got a 3060 12 gigabyte. I got an i9 11900K, 64 gigs of RAM, probably about 6 terabytes of memory. I got 4 terabytes of M.2s.
Nice.
Got a water cooling system. Got 10 fans in there.
Is that full water cooling or just single loop for the CPU?
It's the water cooling. Yep.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I just don't have the heart for the regular maintenance, so I haven't gone to air cooled yet, but I probably should. So I certainly.
It's definitely worth it. I'll tell you that.
For what I'm
Definitely
running,
worth
it probably makes sense too. I am running a 3090, so.
Oh yeah, definitely worth it then.
I abuse that bad boy for sure. 4 screens, that's what we got right now. J Hyde TK, welcome on in. Glad to have you hanging out here. We're watching the start of LG AHL bidding. I've got some messages. Let me Here's how we're gonna have to do this. Hide you for a moment, because now I gotta go check Discord, which of course is all on the same screen together. We are gonna have an extra guest here. Holland's gonna join us here shortly. So a little extra insight here. Some player perspectives of everybody who's been taken. We'll get you off the chat there. Let's do a fresh refresh. 7.5 million sitting on the top right now. I'm curious. Tuck it. No. I want Tuck it Teal. Hey, Tuck it. Are you out there? If you're out there in chat, I want to know right now, have you been bid on already? Are you still looking for that bid right now, bro? Oh, Tuck it Teal is officially management. King Doogie. Good to know. That's what I love about the hockey community is it's a lot smaller than most other communities. I come from League of Legends, which is massive. Valorant, obviously. So many people know each other from. If you know somebody from one league, you probably know them in another league. Wow, the Texas Stars is Tuck it Teal and Curly 11C. I really like that management combo. Curly's a nasty goal scorer. No question about that one. So. And of course, as a real life Stars fan, I certainly feel the need to root there as well. And it looks like Holland has joined us in here. Holland, what's going on, buddy? You're muted. Checking messages. Hang on. Just 1 sec. I don't hear any chat. Well, it's definitely on your end because I know that we're working here both sending and receiving. Let's see, we've removed all our names. Let's take a look again. Still CM97X sitting up there at the top end. Look at that now. 2 centers in the top 4, 3 in the top 6. I'm not seeing any wingers until Fire Halo Maniac at $3.5 million, and then Brick Wall immediately tied with that.
Yeah.
The Real Process, welcome on in. Glad to have you here. Appreciate the follow. This is the Mezcast. We're announcing this tonight. Dobbsy6, appreciate the follow. We are 1 away from 800, ladies and gentlemen. Who's going to pop it? We've had a couple of subs tonight as well. T-Squad came in with the subscription, the Prime subscription. Welcome on in. Officially, it's O Turbide. Appreciate the follow, and then followed up immediately by McCroskey. Welcome in one, welcome in all. Mimic coming in to check in on his own process, sitting right now in third. You see right there at $6.5 million. That is the third highest bid that we have on the board. Let's make this even more interactive here. B-Wubs, appreciate the follow and welcome on in. Glad to have everybody here. Let's throw up an emote wall though. Feel like everybody deserves that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So throw your emotes in chat.
I got it.
Welcome
There
on
he
in.
is.
What's
For
going
some
on,
reason-
Holland?
For some reason, my Discord changed over to audio setting. I don't know why, but I'm here. What's up?
Oh, hey, totally get it. As an IT technician in my professional life, I totally understand the pain of VoIP chats just taking over and deciding to do what they want to do. Dylan Holloway, appreciate the follow. Folks, if you're out there in chat, what's your most surprising bid you see up here so far? Is it a position? Is it a run on all of our defensemen and center? Is it a lack of left wings? Is it a particular player like CM97X up there at the top at 7.5 million? Let us know in chat. What do you have? But Holland, what do you see so far?
Well, I was talking to my chat a bit earlier. I was going through everything, and I was saying that I think it's going to be heavy on defense. That's what I was anticipating. I knew that summer season was not going to be the greatest season, so I anticipated a lot of good D-men going for a lot, which CM97 obviously 7.5 is a huge cost, but I mean, he's a really good D-man, so that is something I anticipated. Same with Garbs, Ballsy, Carter. So a lot of these guys going for a lot is what I anticipated. And if I was managing a team, I would start defense heavy, especially in this game with having full pressure. You can't break the puck out, you are probably screwed.
Absolutely. And I mean, really, when you look at the numbers, it makes sense out the gate. We have significantly more forwards than any other position. So, especially as a CHL player myself, when I did play, you see down there in the CHL and the NCAA, they are really hurting for even quality defensemen. So like the few that show potential, show opportunity, they jump real quick. So like you said, not shocked to see a huge run on defensemen here. But curious how some of these wingers might respond. Is this bulletin board material? If you're a goal scorer, Holland, what do you play and where are you at in LG?
So right now, I am signed up as center. I can play right wing. I played right wing pretty much my entire LG career. As I have my alert going and I gotta follow whoever that was. Thank you. But yeah, I
was
mainly play
me.
center or right wing. Oh, let's go. Thank you. I didn't even have that up on my screen. I had the Discord open. Thank you. So I play center right wing. Currently sitting at, I don't even know what I'm saying. I think I just got another bid. But from what I'm looking at,
let's go take a look. I mean, we've got you here. What's your official name?
I am Holland98X. That's center.
Here we go.
I am 2 mil.
Get the update. Got 3 bids. We're gonna do the full deep dive since you're in here. It's like a regular AHL player here, including last season in the playoffs.
Yeah, I was NHL a bit when it was the PSN Xbox split, and then after that, I kind of stayed in the A. And personally, I didn't mind it, and at this point, I don't mind being in the A just because the end seems like you either have your top lines or you have guys who are getting sued. And what I was looking at too before when the bids are coming out early is that I noticed a lot of the guys who are falling looks like their third line or third D pairs maybe that are coming down, and that's what I've noticed. But then there are some guys who maybe didn't play last season, but they played the season before that are getting heavy bids because of their stats. I don't know how much that favors into summer season as well, because I know summer season has a lot of signups, but it's also generally a little bit weaker. I don't know what your take is on that. I believe you're Xbox, correct? So you probably have the Xbox side more than I do.
I see, that's the thing. I am PSN, but I'm actually super
Ooh.
new. So I didn't.
Okay.
This is my first year in NHL. Period. So
Okay.
I am very new to hockey in general as a boy originally from Texas. So didn't get a lot of exposure until the Texas Stars moved into town in Austin. So that was really my first experience. But this is my first year with NHL because I'm a PC player. And big shout out. Really would love to see NHL 24 make its way to PC. I mean, I have to admit, I'm one of the ones who finally had to bite the bullet. The top game I wanted to play from a brief exposure in like NHL 13 was, I was like, I want to go play hockey again. That was a lot of fun. I've been playing 2K for the last couple of years. But on PC, even they don't get modern gen. They have to play with PS4s. So PS5, this is my first year. I very quickly got introduced to LG. In fact, I met somebody the very first day and they were like, you need to check out this league. I played one season and then found the booth. I love announcing. That's my favorite place to be. Got a couple other people to show some love to. Chabex19, appreciate the follow. And Ozzy9041, welcome on in. Glad you're hanging out here with us. We got Holland. We got Birexsie. We're taking a look here at all the bidding in the AHL. A little bit of movement. Rocket Spanky moving up to the 4 million category, overtaking It's Carter, both technically sitting on 5 bids, 2 teams back and forth. One I brought up, Holland, Bug84 right here. The only one we even see here on screen with only 1 bid. I guess Norris is technically there, but a couple of people, only 1 bid, only 1 team. Too aggressive out the gate or get your person?
I think it's get your person. To be honest, I mean, a lot of these guys, like I said, I'm looking at his stats right now. Last season looks like he had a couple games in the end, and then the season before he was in the end as well. So maybe a guy just kind of fell through. He probably knows a lot of the guys in the A as well, based on his stats. Looks like he has about even in the A in the end. It looks like the N has a little bit more call-up games, is from what it seems like on stats. So in my opinion, it's probably somebody that they know, hey, this guy's a solid player, let's grab him. That's what it looks like. I feel like I have played with Fug before, and I definitely know the name, and I know he is solid. I think everybody's also going to be a bit inflated for summer season. That's usually how it goes in LG,
Okay.
just from what I've seen. Summer season, just because it's weaker, everybody wants to get those bids in.
Do you think it's a
so
fatigue thing? Do you think it's preparing for the next season and just waiting for the new gen? Or is everybody playing EA because PlayStation just gave that away for free?
Honestly, it's a little bit mix of everything. To be honest, from what I've seen, is summer season. So here's the thing: I owned last season in the summer season. Me and Gonzo owned, and it was a drag after like week 5 to get people to play because it's summer. Nobody wants to play anymore. And if your team is like solid, then people might still play, but it still was a drag. We were a playoff team, and we were trying to drag people to play, right? And then we ended up getting bounced in like round 1 or round 2, and it was like, okay, well, what the hell? So it's that type of thing. I think a lot of these guys, if you're smart, you're gonna go for players who play a lot. And like myself, I play a lot. I think I already have over 1,200 hours on the game, and that's not rare. I only play NHL really. So a lot of these guys, I bet, who are going up, like Clinch, I know plays a ton. He's 7 mil right now at center with 12 bids. I think he plays a lot. A lot of these guys who are up there play a lot, and I think that's really what ends up winning guys cups. Is at the end of the day, it's towards the end of the season. Nobody wants to play, but if the teams are grinding still, they're probably going to make it far in the playoffs, and that's usually how it's been the last couple seasons, just because the game hasn't been the best.
Yeah, and I mean, just pulling up the stats right here, pretty straightforward what you're talking about. I mean, not a great record in the NHL, but oh, look at that AHL record. 5-1-0 in the playoffs, 26-2. Mr. Magoo coming on in with a follow. Good to see you out there. Glad to have everybody hanging out. I'll have games announced here if you're not familiar with what I normally do here on the Mezcast, but we've got LG AHL bidding right now.
Yeah,
Right.
I had Clinch last season before I got traded. I started on Tucson, so I played him a bit. Very solid player. Some of these names I recognize just because some of them are PSN. Some of them I just recognize in general. Like Millsy, he's got one bid for 2 mil at right wing. I know he is West, but he is a very solid player. So he's a guy who I know, and he's a PSN guy, so he's been a PSN guy for a long time. Um, a very solid player. Like, a lot of these names I recognize, some of them I don't. I can obviously can tell the Xbox guys because they got the spaces in their names.
That is true.
Yeah, definitely a variety. As I was telling Rexy earlier, that's one of the things I really love about the NHL 24 community is it's small enough that you know everybody. You may not know that person, but it's not 6 degrees of bacon. In almost all cases, it's 2 to 3 degrees of Kevin Bacon, and you're suddenly there at, oh yeah, I played with this guy who owned a team who had this guy on a team. So we've played together through XYZ, and I know he does this. We got D-Camps and L PlayStation coming in with a new follows. Folks, if you're out there in chat, what's some people you've seen so far that have not gone or that are going more than you expected them to go for? What's the big shockers out there? Let us know. We're certainly curious as we take a glimpse through. Yeah, I think even with all three of us together, I don't think we could probably nail everyone down on, is this truly a great value or not? And of course, then your team situation depends so much. Do you end up with teammates that you play well with? Do you need to be traded for whatever reason? Do you not have availability? XNATO1 says Pucky needs bid. What's going on, Kuma La Puma? Here's a goaltender. You know, we haven't seen a lot of goaltenders go high just yet. In fact, I think the highest we have here is Gunner Skate, 2.25 million. So it looks like they're going to be real slow with goaltenders. Not super shocked. I think even normally in a bidding, even in a draft format, you're typically not going to see most goaltenders until around the first in round 3. Most of your really good ones in round 4 and 5, typically with a full size league. So I think we'll see some right there at that 3 million level.
Yeah, that's what I've seen too. And like, there's a couple goalies that I've seen here that should not have fallen. Like, I don't think Gunner should have fallen. I don't think Tim's draft should have fallen, to be honest. Crofto, he's my esports goalie, definitely should not have fallen, but he did. And like, it's just like, it's kind of weird. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's maybe because of the game and how goalies just let in either some crap or they save everything. I don't know, but I mean, some of these guys I feel like should have been in the end, and they kind of fell through. And it's kind of unfortunate because I know Crofto last season played goalie, and he got traded like 12 times, and it's no fun. And he had a really good season on one of the worst teams in the league, so it's a little tough.
Look at it there, though. Rexy on the board, the 750 bid. Bam, 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 bam. Welcome to the board, Rexy.
Yes, CM to 8 mil.
Yeah, CM bumped up to 8 mil.
Uh-oh. Let's pull off the goalie. Let's see it. 8 mil, new top bid. Brick Wall has slipped up into the top 9. 4 million and holding right there. Just take a look at our positions here. Left wing, it's X-Brick Wall, Fire Halo Maniac, X-Divinity, ASAP Hockey, Link Daily, Kreider, Lazy Kitten 9760, Porker, Scotty, and L. Gallagher. L. Gallagher is 1.25 million. All right, that's my number one underbid player right now. L. Gallagher 11. He is quite possibly one of the best 3 goal scorers I know, period. So the trick around him, build him a great second and third line where he doesn't have to carry you completely in the playoffs, and you've got a wonderful win. So Gallagher's a monster, not gonna lie. That's the most shocking bid I've seen so far of anybody I know. Sorry to put you on blast there, Gallagher. But you know you ain't worth you're worth way more than a 1.25 million bid.
Yeah, I will say, just looking at the positions, left wing definitely looks a little weaker than what I've seen compared to the other positions. I don't know if that's common or what, but right now, from what I've seen, like if you look at like your left wing and then like center or right wing, it definitely looks like a drop off of talent. That's not to say that you can't get somebody who's left wing that's solid, but like I feel like a lot of these guys now, some of these guys who are center could also probably play left wing. I mean, if they're right-handed, they can maybe play wing, but it also may not always translate. Some guys may not be able to play wing if they're a good center. I know that's the case for guys I played with before. I actually found out I'm just better actually at center than I am right wing. I'm more defensive.
Okay.
So that's why I prefer to play center. But I can play right wing. Like I know last year we had a situation in Tucson where Couture was starting at right wing. I played center, and he could not play right wing at all. He openly admitted it. So we switched, and it flowed so much better. And it's also just an experience thing if you play a lot of wing and then, or if you play a lot of center and you go to a different position. I mean, if you don't really play like wing and you only play center, you might not know the cuts, you might not know all those little things. And I mean, as a defensive winger, it also kind of helps because you can do the trap, things like that. Those small little things that matter. You know, a lot of the top guys hear about that because when it comes to playoff time, it's crunch time, it's trap time, and that's how you win.
For sure. I think this is the guy. Hang on. Yep, this is 100% the guy. This is another elite score I've seen. Now, granted, it's more at the CHL level, but X Demon 12X, no bid on him yet. Let me tell you, he gave me my welcome to LG moment. First night of LG ever, first game ever. He absolutely undressed me. Like, I was the defender on his side, and every time I was ready for the move, he put on me last time, and he was one ahead. And I mean, absolutely. I think I lost that first game like 9 or 10-1. Won't lie, it was a little defeating, but great score there. A couple others I haven't seen put a bid on. Tank Cal 420 is definitely a known commodity at right wing. In particular, I know him from CNC more than anything else. There was somebody else, Pasternak 88.
CNC is always fun.
So I know certainly several that are well familiar in that community, including a couple owners here in the LG AHL, including Tuckett Teal, and then his partner Curly 11C. So that's the Texas Stars duo combo. We'll take a look out there. Let's see what we've got. Daycamp's out here adding some information. Elko CCC. There you are. Let's see what you got. We're going to put you on blast, or we're going to put you on highlight. All right, not officially listed there. Why can't I pull? You're not available for a bid, so... Did I get the name right? Yeah, LCO. Yeah, I've got it right. You're not showing up. So did you get taken in the NHL? I can't pull it up there. What's up, Tuckett Teal? Nicky Peace. At least the name they came into with was ELCO Elko CCC.
I think it's 2 C's. I see it. It's ELCOCC, I think.
Yeah, and I've got that, but it's not pulling up in the bidding screen. So I'm curious if. Oh, because I'm dumb because I have.
Right wing.
Yeah. Yeah, I got him. He's right D.
Lucy Harris, smart. Martin Harris, dumb. All right, so an NHL player, season 46. AHL as well, 7-12-2 record, -20 overall, no goals. Of course, not overly expected from a defenseman. But definitely a departure from that AHL regular season for the Maple Leafs AHL team, 18-7-1. So one season away, I guess a couple seasons removed away. That was 45. Last was 47. So working your way back in. Did you fall in 47? Where'd you go? Maybe just a little bit of a break. That's what we got going on. Goalies that deserve bids, says Daycamps. Flower I-30I, G-Bone 8, Ballsy 06, the Vezina Reaper. I'm familiar with Vezina for sure. Vezina put up a monster run in the playoffs. It was him and Terry O as the goaltender combo for the Bloomington Bison as they went on to win an ECHL championship last season. That was season 47 of LG. A couple others listed in there. Evo Volcano, Recycle Bin Hero, I Bosquet, Hart 79, Avoin, I'm Chilson, and Goalie Bro. Rexy, why don't we start off with you? Any names in there or any other names to throw in that pop out at you?
Let's see here.
That's in my chat if you just want to double check that.
Yep, open it up. Volcano, I know. I played with him before. I played against him. He's actually a pretty good goalie, honestly. He deserves a bid.
Okay.
Hart, I played with Hart before. What else we got here? I agree with Flowers too.
Agree with Flowers. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely.
I don't think I ever played against the other guys before.
Okay. Yeah, Vesna Reaper, after putting together a really great season, that's one I'd love to see potentially move up and see how he handles that next tier. How about you, Holland? Any goaltenders put fear in you? Lightning quick with the glove?
No, I mean, this game is terrible, especially right when I just can't put these are spot. But I'm looking at the goalie list now, and a couple of these names I do see. One I see is Mega. It's the LL-Mega. I actually just played against him the other night. He's really solid. 10-16-3 in season 46 at goalie. But I mean, I played against him before. He was really solid. I don't know if maybe he just had a couple down seasons. He was really solid. A couple other names that I noticed here. STL Stash is fine. He's solid too. Doesn't have the greatest stats, but I mean, he's okay. It looks like he hasn't really played a ton lately. From what I'm seeing here, and just what I can see on the bidding board, a lot of these goalies, I think, there's Crofto with the opening bid, perfect there. From what I see, a lot of these goalies are your main goalies, I would say. I think a lot of these guys are going to be your starters, and I think a lot of the backups are probably going to go either later on tonight or tomorrow. That's what I'm looking at. Just from what I've seen, I mean, there's only, it's rows of 5, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, it's like 20, 29 goalie bids around 28. There's 32 teams. So let's say a lot of these guys are probably going to be either starting or maybe they're getting some backups. Because I know some teams have goalies on the roster already. That's just what I can see.
Yeah, when we pull up the big board, I mean, not even that many. A total of 10 or so, maybe a few more beyond that. 14 officially, a million or more, and really top at 2.25 with 6 bids. Definitely looks like a lot of teams are going to try to fill with the 750 and get that value elsewhere. So
yeah,
I get it.
You don't want to spend heavy. Yeah, you don't want to spend heavy on a goalie, and that's the LG's usually around like 2.5 to 3 is your max for goalie. I think there was a goalie that went for a little bit higher a couple seasons ago, and it was a disaster. Just because if your goalie is high at like say 5-6 mil, he better like lose like 5 games because like that's huge pay for a goalie. And I mean, goalies are also interchangeable depending on your defense too. If you have really good defense with like say a pretty solid goalie, you can get through. But if you have a goalie that's elite with terrible defense, it doesn't matter. They're just gonna get burned, and I mean, it's not gonna help.
Absolutely, I'm right there with you. So that's why in drafts I see them. Third, I think, is too early for a goaltender to go in a 32-team league, but 4th or 5th round, you start to get some real value. But yeah, no, totally agree. That defensive pair you put in front, as well as the center, how two-way do they play is so critical to, you can have the best goaltender in the world, but if they got to face 30 shots a game versus my goaltender's pretty good, and they've only got to face 10 shots a game, I think we're going to have a lot better success. You'll I say it all the time on my stream. You're not going to have many good games if you have less shots than the other team has goals. And it happens. It happens.
Yeah, for sure. And definitely, like I said, a lot of these guys I think are going to be either starting or a couple of these might be backups. Like, you might just toss a 750K bid on one of these guys that you think is solid. That might be a backup. Obviously, I think Crofto, he's my esports goalie. I think he's a starter right there. Gunner's a starter. Furious, I don't really know. I'm not really familiar with him a ton, but I think he could definitely be a starter. Same with Tim's Farmer Rep, he's a starter. Cheever's starter. I think a lot of these guys are starters, and then as you get through, I think as you I would say probably tomorrow when you look at the bidding board. I think the goalies tomorrow going into Sunday would probably be your backups.
Okay. Taking a look, Villies here's got a minimum bid. Some season 47 down in the CHL. Not a ton of games. So that means ECHL, yep. 5-12 and 1 record. And that's listed more as a non-goaltender perspective. So back playing goaltender. When's the last time they played that consistently? It looks like primarily in the NHL. Had some success pre-merger. Ballsy 000 welcome on in. Glad to have you here. It's Mayers as well. Got the follow coming in just a few minutes ago. Who's your favorite player you've seen fall too far at this point? We'd love to see. Vesna, we just, we'll give you a check right now. We were certainly pimping you up a minute ago. Talking about where you may go in this. Just taking too long to get there. Come on, LG's website. We are just absolutely bombarding it. It's distracted. Speaking of distracted, they're coming in with a follow as well. Silky. Got the silky mitts. What's going on there? Agreed, Ballsy. Vesna is a monster. What's going on, A. Grigley? Good to see you out there. Hope your work night's not going too bad for you. Well, I broke the I broke the AG. Yep, I think. Oh, no, I just have to put it in a new tab, and then we can get it rolling. Bidding. Put it back up. Let's see if Vesna has gotten... If I could spell, my goodness. Oh, my. Vesna with no bid yet. Hey, Grigley says, I'm back on days, but 12 hours. Ugh. Ugh, that is a tough grind, my brother. I know that one for certain. A Grigley out there, if you don't know, is the LG NCAA Commissioner. Good to see you out there. Have you hanging out here with us. Let's pull back up, sort by price. It's still CM97X up there at the top. Close a few of these ads if I can. Oh, it's just too much. Here we go. The top of the board, which you can see there. Defense, center, center, defense, 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 defense. One winger for each side and two more centermen. Our centers Mimic, Flinch, Top Tittens, and Clutch Lang. Clutch Lang the lowest there at 4 million. Mimic leading the charge for centers at 7 million. Already this first hour has been explosive.
Sure. So I'm you want me to put somebody on blast here? You want to look up?
Yeah. Who are we gonna put up there?
We're gonna put up my longtime duo, my esports buddy,
All right.
Jay Malarkey. He's a left wing who I completely forgot about this in bidding. He fell to the A. He does not have a bid, I don't think, but I think he definitely should get one. I anticipate him to get a bid anyway.
Well,
I met him in 2019, and we've been a duo ever since. We went to a cup final together. Unfortunately, lost. He scored on our own net, and I will never forget that. But yeah, it wasn't his fault though. It wasn't the reason we lost, but it was that was a long time ago. Yeah, it's my longtime duo, and I think he'll get a bid at some point. No doubt about it. I don't think there would be a reason he wouldn't. He's definitely solid. I think he has gotten better over the seasons for sure. Definitely. And I think that he probably should get a bid at some point here.
Couple President's trophies. Okay. So some solid awards.
Season 15 at Dallas scene. That was our hope. That was our one shot that we had for the cup, unfortunately.
Okay.
That one hurt.
Well, and it looks like season 47 had an AHL season 11, 10, and 5. Hey, ending up positive is always good numbers. And of course, some NHL regular season, the previous season in season 46, finishing officially even there. So you've got a player that you know can play up a little bit. Psychotics, if you're out there, you know what's been bothering my mind in the back. So I got to ask you, Holland. Malarkey, that's slang for bullshit, isn't it? It is. It's a Band of Brothers quote. Sorry, it's that one's a little too stuck in my head.
So good.
So we'll see if Malarkey can get himself a bid.
I'm surprised he didn't go to the end, to be honest. I feel like he really should have. I mean, he had a down season in the A, but he also was managing, and he never managed really at all.
Okay.
And then he did. And there's a lot of things that went on behind the scenes with his team, but I think he prefers to play, just not manage. And I think that he definitely should have went to the end, but I think that AHL season maybe just bumped him down to the A for this season again. I assume if he had a good season, he'll go back up. He knows a good amount of people, and I mean, the game next year could also be completely different. I told him I think this game suits him better than previous years. Just because of how the game plays. And he's a left wing, which means he shoots on the blocker side more, which means he gets more of those 1-Ts better than catching on the left hand.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. I think I've learned here. I got to do this the right way. If you want to check, we need a subscription. So drop it down. You want to see your name be pulled up there. You want to get a name pulled up. Make sure you hit with a subscription before, especially if you've got your Prime subscription available. We take those donations as well. Nikki P, you do. You did hit it, so we'll go ahead and pull you up, Nikki. See what you got out there. I don't think that's the one.
CM just went up here, 8.25.
We'll check that here in just a second. Nikki P pulling up the stats right now. Tons of former tags. That fills the list. AHL last season, 14-8-5, 37 points across the 27 games. Minus 11 on the season. A solid playoff record, though. 3-1-2. Unfortunately, those overtime losses, they just don't mean that much in the playoffs. They don't get you the points. KB Lau, welcome on in. Glad to have you hanging out here. Holland 989, officially welcome on in. Thank you for the follow, sir. Let's go back to the top. Let's see. I believe you said we have a new high.
CM just went up again, 8.25.
So by price, CM97 setting the record again. It's 8.25 million, new highest bid of the night.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs.
Oh, I fat fingered that one.
Me? Playoffs?
I did not mean to double up there. Sorry, I'm a little excited for playoffs. I know. It's just bidding. It's just the start, but that's the goal. That's where you're headed. Porter Airlines, appreciate the follow. Glad to have you here. Ballsy says, oh shit, I have a bid. Nikki P says it was depressing losing third round twice in a row to Cup champs, Laval and Chicago. Unfortunately, sometimes that's just how she goes. Ballsy said, I have a bid. That's not good.
Yeah, I predicted CM to be 9 in my stream before I joined you guys. I said he'll probably be around 9. Clinch, I could see probably going to 8. I'm just looking at the top ones here. Mimic 7, I think he'll probably go to 8. I think a lot of these guys might get a little bit of a buffer. I don't think anybody hits 10, to be honest. CM might, but I think that's going to be a drastic thing depending on the team. I think the higher the bid goes, the more the team has for... I put it this way. I think if the team has more cap space, it probably means they're getting a lot of 750K or 1 mil bids, which those could be steals, but those also could be guys who maybe aren't the best, and that might not be a good situation. But you never know. Yeah, we gotta look at the full rosters once they come out.
Yeah, for sure. So, hey, this is a player I mentioned, L. Gallagher. Right now, only 1.25 million bid. Now, doesn't have a lot of experience in the A or the NHL. We see not a lot of records, though. He did get pulled up. Has some decent record here. 2-0-1 in the regular season for the Toronto Maple Leafs. But let's take a look at his ECHL record. The last 2 seasons, absolutely tearing it up. 18-8-2. 22-3-2 with a combined 140-plus points. Folks, if you're looking for a scorer, there's no better one I know that's available right now better than L. Gallagher. $1.25 million for Frankly, I wouldn't be shocked if it's them boys from Texas that have the bid on him. They are intimately familiar with what he provides. But, I mean, 49 and 50 goals, nearly 2 a game he's tucking in, and adding it over an assist a game on top. I mean, that's what I'm looking for, a goal scorer who scores. Take it back. I'll give it a fresh refresh, and then I'm going to step away for just 30 seconds, let y'all two talk about any updates we have here up at the top or anything else you think needs to be missing. I will be right back.
All right.
That's good. Yeah, this is that Gallagher guy on the spreadsheet site, which has the player war cards, which gives you the offense, defense, team stuff. I mean, when I see a guy who lights it up, I'm always cautious because I always want to see if they scrub it or not. But it looks like this guy, based on what I saw here, he's at 88% war, 75 strength schedule. I mean, that seems really solid to me. That definitely screams like, hey, this guy's legit. So I think what I was saying is true. I think he's definitely a good scorer at left wing. I think that would be a great pickup for whoever gets him.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I don't see much wingers going right now. I see a lot of D though, which is pretty good though.
Yeah, defense, I think, like I said when I joined the stream here, I think defense is going to be defense heavy for the summer season. You want guys who are going to be able to break the puck out, guys who are going to be able to move that thing, things like that. I think if you have a bad defense this year, at least in this game, you're going to be pinned in your zone and you're going to get a lot of goals against. Forwards can only do so much, and I think that's something that I think a lot of teams look at, especially the good teams. I think a lot of good teams are going to get those top D-men. Now, you can get away if you have, say, a really good defensive center and, like, your defense is maybe not the greatest. That's how I always try to take that approach at center. If my defense needs help, I'm always going to be low for them. I'm going to be supporting D-men, basically a third D-man for them. And I think that helps out a lot, especially if you just have guys throwing up the wall and they're just getting crushed by the other D-man. Like, that's not ideal at all. But yeah, like you said, the wingers, I think a lot of them are going, I mean, not a ton heavy. I think right now for the most we have for defense is ASAP Hockey at 4.5 for left wing. Yes.
Yeah, he's the highest right now, I believe. The left wing.
Yep, 22, 4 and 2, 75 points. Lit that up.
And then Fire right underneath him.
Yes.
Being a goalie myself, I definitely agree with you on the defense though. If you don't have a good defense, those pucks are just gonna go in because everyone knows how EA happens.
For sure. It's definitely tough, I think, if you have a really good goalie that has a bad defense, because the defense goalies can value out only so much, right? But if you're facing like 20, 30 shots and your pressure is like you're always getting, full pressure and you're just getting peppered, it's not on the goalie. I mean, I've always said this, I only blame goalies if they get off a short side or if they give up an obvious snipe. If you give up a breakaway, that's not defense. If you give up a 2-on-1, it's a little tough. I mean, the D-man should take the guy without the puck, and then it's basically a 1-on-1. But you kind of got to play that depending. But really, that's it. I mean, goalie this year, in my opinion, seems so freaking easy. I played it a couple times in club games, and it seems so easy. Your guy just stands there and grabs everything. But then there's also times where your guy will literally make a save and it'll just roll in. So it's kind of like, what the hell? Inconsistent for sure.
The EA trickle goals are so frustrating. You're in position, so you have everything, and the game's like, nah, sorry, not for you, not today.
Yeah, definitely frustrating. I've had that a lot, honestly, in this game.
Yeah. The game, I've always said the game feels so inconsistent because there are times where literally in a night of LG, it has been, you could have 2 games in a row where you are like, I remember early on there were games where we outshot a team like 24 to like 10 or 24 to like 7, out-time attacked them, and we lost like 3-0. It's like their goalie's making insane saves, and then our goalie lets in like goal or it's like throwaway, and then like the third game it's like the opposite, you score everything. It's like, what the heck, right? I think the game is very inconsistent along with the just how goalies are. They're very, and it's not on the goalies, it's also just the game too. I think that's how it is. I also am an advocate that I think X Factors carry a part in that, and I think they need to be gone. Only because I feel like you can just overpower the goalie with some of these, even if they got a nerf. Like gold close quarters up close, it doesn't matter if it's, you know, wherever, right? It'll roll you regardless. And it's kind of like, that kind of sucks.
Yeah, I agree with that. See, do we have any changes yet?
Not that I saw. Mimic has gone up to 7.5. He's tied with Clinch. Two top
Yeah,
centers.
I see that.
I am back up to. I am gone up to 3, but that was 24 minutes ago. I'm gonna say I'm probably gonna be under 5. That's my guess.
Nothing wrong with that. I would always prefer to be a value player. I would hate going for 5+ million, even if I was good enough to be worth the value. I'd hate that because I just feel like you have to perform every single game. You can't have a game off, and you know there's just chemistry you have with some guys that you just not with others. You know, some guys do better with cross crease, and some guys are better setting up the 1T, and some just play that way so well and effectively together. So.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at my. I'm looking at my thing. 'Cause there was a season I had. Which one was it? There was a season where I think I was. I'm trying to find it. Where is it? I thought. Oh yeah, season 21. It was the PSN season. It was. I think it was not the split. I don't know if it was a split or if it was when they went 16 teams. I think it's when they went 16 teams. I went right wing, but I ended up being 6 mil. That was not fun. Although I did a really good season, that was not fun at all. But that's, yeah, you don't want to be too high, just because if you're a player that has a lot of cap and your team isn't the best, you're kind of stuck.
Yeah, I felt bad. The one season I played, I absolutely hosed a team, not intentionally at all. So I got minimum bid in the C, got absolutely trounced because I played 2 of the top goal scorers in the CHL that season in the first day. Got TC'd, got traded. Well, NCAA draft happened. I got drafted in the 2nd round for being scouted. 2 days after I get drafted, before I'm even starting for the NCAA, hey, we're pulling you up to the CHL. My new team called me up as a TC, and I'm like, man, they just lost the 2nd round pick. That's brutal.
That is brutal.
But that's the way it can go. Everybody all the way on up to the NHL. That's where they're headed. B-Pack's headed to hit that follow button. Did so, and welcome on in, B-Pack.
We got Costa jumping up to 5 mil now. He was at 3.5.
Nice little jump there. Nice little jump. Bass Pro Shops, 13 total bids. Slummy, 13 total bids. Teams being very patient, but a little bit of a slowdown now. It's been 25 and almost 36 minutes since their last bids.
Yeah, Costa's good. I played with him before when I got traded from Tucson last season. He's really solid. It's a good contract, I think.
DeCamps, I definitely want to get down to the 750Kers. I'm giving it just a little bit of time to bake in right now. I think once we really get to about an hour in, which is where we're hitting some of these points we see right there on stream, Garb's about 2 minutes away from hitting 7 hours. That'll give us some time to kind of look at some of those 750,000 players right now. We've got a lot here. Hey, Fug did end up getting another bid, so somebody jumped up from 4 to 4.25 to outbid. That's one we've certainly been keeping an eye on. We'll pull up. How about we just look at all of our defenders here? We're going to include straight out the gate. CM97 holding the top overall bid, $8.25 million. I'm Fidel Cashflow at 6. Fug, another bid, moves up to 5 mil now. Costa 2, 5 mil. Ballsy, Garbs, Bass Pro Shop, Slummy, Fruit Whoops, Wilksy 93, Couture 53, Rocket Spanky, It's Carter, NJR Serene. That gets us down to 3 million. Gaber also at that level. Rhyme Attack 34, L PlayStation. John as Furious DZ hits the follow button. Welcome on in. Silverstein, D-Max, Sergachev. Hey, congrats to Sergachev. Uncle Juice, appreciate the follow. That'll help you know when we go live. Normally here Sundays and Tuesdays is my LG coverage night. I'm going to give y'all just a brief jump over, let y'all see. If you've never seen what I do here on the Mezcast, normally announcing is my main game. And this is how we announced. Oh, no, this isn't even the right one. Get to the quad box. Boom. There we go. This is the way we're going to start the season next weekend on Sunday after the NCAA draft, which will also be here on the Mezcast. But I'm going to host 4 games at a time, quad box mania, as I call it. We're going to announce an NHL game, an AHL game, an ECHL game, and a CHL game. That's the way we ended season 47. That's the way we're going to start season 48. It'll be a great time. But right now, we are building those teams to head there. Mr. Lol Chico 13, appreciate the follow. Glad to have you here. We're checking out LG AHL Bidding. Let's go full sort here. Oh, I guess that's showing me who the most recent bid is. Okay, that makes more sense. I wish I could invert the price, though. Mr. Desolate, appreciate the follow. All right, well, here we are. Some of the initials. So these are all under 7 hours. So some 750 starting to get baked there. Lukey Dookie. Yes, that is the actual name you see there, ladies and gentlemen. Lefty Lukey Dookie. Also, a bunch of lefty in here. Stamkos, Potsy, Petrangelo's going for 1.5, though. Naus, Lepar, Twinkie, LaRue. It looks like just a ton of D-men down here at this level. D-Max, Scoflurry, Tabbacks, Jayhawk, Coco Camp, Strizniz, Savvy4, June, Silverstein, Tenur, McPeak, Overly Salty, Gaber 64 is up at that 3 mil mark. That's where we get a jump. Queek, Ben P, Mr. Recoup, Cud Muffin, Will X93, Junior Hawk 16, sitting to that 1.25 mil. Of course, we see Garbs as we've seen all night. Hey, Kep, that is an undervalued player right there. $750,000 for a guy who played on a AHL championship winning team last year. Hey, Kep was on the Chicago Wolves. And he played, I believe, in the clinching game. So, Hey, Kep at $750. There's an undervalued player if you're looking for one out there. A big scroll through.
Some of those names that you recognized, definitely some of those names you mentioned. And some of the names I'm looking at, too, some of these guys, like Sergachev I played the other night, he's really solid. A couple other guys that I saw there, that John Kenny, I'm pretty sure. He's a really good forward going D. A lot of these guys, I think, are going D for the fun of it. Silverstein, I'm pretty sure, is a forward that went D. Same with Couture. So a lot of these guys maybe are dropping back to D, trying to get lower bids to get on some of their, not, I don't say buddies teams, but try to get a little bit lower bids, which it might work. Prodigy was a forward last season, went D as well. A lot of these guys I'm recognizing that are going D. A lot of these guys are forwards that are going D. Pretty sure Tech also was a forward that went D. A lot of these guys, they could try to get lower bids on better teams. That's my guess for sure. The defense also was kind of enjoyable this season too.
You know, I especially at this level, I think it's a point where I think it's still a little hard to hide. This is something I really enjoy. Again, as somebody new, I got to come in right with the combination of Xbox and PSN, so I get it. There are cliques that have formed. There are teams that have known, but there are players that are playing already in the NHL that the very first, and season 46, just 2 seasons ago, were playing in the CHL or the NCAA. Like, elite players that people just didn't know about. So there's so much value that can be found, and I think by the time you get to AHL, there should be at least enough info. If you're really a good owner and GM combo, you've really done the due diligence of who do I value, who do I rate. In fact, you know what, actually, now that I think of that, I'm going to go, I got to check a buddy's list. I know somebody provided me their personal draft list. Now, it may not have everybody from this one, but it's at least a good place to start. So I'm going to go, we're going to start looking through some names. Let me know, Birexsie or Holland, if there's anybody in particular you want to go check out right now.
Oh, right.
overall or just a specific position?
Say we have not officially looked at centers. We have looked at defense. We've looked at some wingers a bit. Go ahead and just pull up centers just so it's on the board. And by price.
Pretty big drop off at center. Looks like you got two big ones, Clinch and Mimic. I know Clinch is definitely a really good center. He's a really good winger too. I played with him a couple times in club on wing, and he's actually solid too. It goes from that, and it looks like it's a huge drop off. It goes from like 7, 4, 3, and then it goes right down to like 1.
Yeah.
Which to be expected. I don't know if that means that the center pool is that weak. I mean, I don't know a ton of these names. Duchesne, I believe, can also play right wing, or I think he played a lot of right wing too. Not familiar with some like Xbox guys a ton. Scorzy's fine at center. I'm pretty sure he was an ECHL guy for a long time too.
Nah, he must have sent it somewhere else. Damn.
What else we got here?
Let's just go take a peek at Mimic stats. Worth the 7.5. Had a 9-16-2 regular season with Pittsburgh. -32 season.
Definitely a guy that I think, like I told you earlier, definitely maybe a third line guy that maybe fell. Or was he, actually, let me double check. I would say he could be, a lot of these guys also could be, like, say, maybe defense going forward or something like that.
Right,
or could
right.
Be playing just,
Yeah.
You have to account for a lot of those, I think, too.
And I mean, his AHL season in 46 looks like he got called up. Looks like it was a really good season. 11-8-6 in the AHL. Spent some time in the NHL. 7-1-1 record. Overall finished that total season plus 15. Like that's a real solid set of numbers, especially that level of competition. So, did Pittsburgh I don't think Pittsburgh made the playoffs, did they?
Season 46, I believe they had a really solid team. Actually, what season are you talking about? Season 46?
Season 47, because he went 9-16-2.
I don't know. I know season 46, I know they had a very solid team because, one of my buddies, one of my good buddies, actually was on that team, and they had a very solid team in season 46. I think they probably should honestly went to a cup, but I think they unfortunately choked. They had Sitful and Jakku on their team, who are two esports gods. So,
Well,
yeah.
speaking of gods, check out these freaking setups. All right, I need to go to NHL for his official numbers. But we can do this. We can skip the ad. Yes. Yes, we all know I'm looking at gimbals right now. Okay, big shocker. Team stats. We pull up the previous season. Nope, that's preseason. So season 47, regular season. How did they do? Yeah, Penguins would miss the playoffs last year. It's like a combined -158. Oh, that's shot differential. But
Yeah, I don't think they had a great season. Actually, I think if you just
37, 38, and 7, yeah. And I mean,
if you go there,
it took like 10. I think it took 10 games over 500 last season to get into the NHL playoffs. That's right. And now I just got to adjust this. Season 47. Regular season.
They were like 15 points out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So may have
Yeah,
been, you know, product of an unfortunate setup they got stuck on.
Looking at their team too, which is kind of crazy, they actually have a lot of esports guys like Jakku and Sitful, the clutch, big guys. Dubs, Formless, Sean Nato, Deli as a goalie. Like, they have a lot of really good players too, which is crazy.
Yeah. Like I said, sometimes you don't get that chemistry together. You don't get that lineup that, or you're always chasing that perfect lineup, or you're trying to fit sometimes your GM into a lineup or your owner into a lineup. I've seen that be the case, unfortunately, from time to time. You end up trading off all your good talent, trying to chase, all right, who can play well with our existing structure, and whew. How am I feel like every time I'm losing more and more screen here. I'm about to throw up the full ads, LG. I need the full screen because now I'm down to one column. There we go. Here's at least a little bit more. Sorry, it's a little small in text. Let's sort by price once again. See if we have a new leader. Nope, holding at 825. Just look at all positions, but I'm gonna go to. Oh, I can't. I can't go that far. Okay,
You're trying to look for 750K?
yeah.
I would go by. I'm trying to see how. There's a way I'm pretty sure that you can get it.
I would go by expiring.
Expiring is the closest we can get there for sure. Hey,
Yeah,
congrats to X Canada V2. That dude is one of the most underrated centers I know. Like 60+% face-off percentage against some pretty elite competition. So excited to see him make his way up. I've been watching him over the last couple of seasons in the CHL, and now he's jumping the E and going straight to the A. Congratulations, homie. Even Interplanetary knows what's going on. He's certainly played against him before. What's going on, Palmer? Good to see you out there. Pinks, welcome on into the Prime booth. That's right, folks. The individual welcome. You get it here when you hit that subscribe button to the Mezcast. That gets you ad-free viewing. We'll have the LG NCAA draft next Saturday, and then Sunday night we'll have quad box action for you. Quad box mania. We'll be watching 4 games at a time across all 4 leagues. That'll be Sunday. I won't have Tuesday. That'll be the only non-Tuesday this whole season is my plan. Blakey Bro and Pinks appreciate the follow and welcome on in. Pinks, appreciate you really giving that love. That subscribe before the follow. Glad to have you here. Glad to have Birexsie. Glad to have Holland. We're having a great time here covering the LG AHL bidding. I'm just going to kind of continue to scroll here. Let me know if anybody in particular sparks your interest. We want to look at some stats. D-Mac I've seen around.
Check the goalies again, see what's going on there.
Okay.
See if anyone moved.
Dawn, Showtime, June. I'll definitely be keeping an eye on Canada, see if he goes for the minimum bid. I like that. Goalies with a bid. Actually sort it by price.
Yeah.
Gunner Skate still holding that 2.25. Furious DZ has gotten there. Just below Tim's Farmer's Wrap. Then A007 also at 2 mil. And then we fall below Wilkski 318, Cheevers, Riddich, Basazi, Mozzie, ZJ9C. Question is, if you got to ask what a ZJ is, you can't afford it, pal. Tuski Mank, Pitcher Swag, Loading Win. Thank you, Birexsie. Beer Fest is definitely one of my all-time favorite movies, so.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta give it there. Folks, I know most of you are watching me here on Twitch, twitch.tv/Mezcast, but letting you know, we've now got another option for you, kick.com/Mezcast. We got that stream up recently after checking out DreamHack. That is live. We're keeping an eye on that chat as well, so if you're over on Kick, make sure you check us out there. We'll be having games all season long. What's going on, Gunner Skate? And says it's payday. Clamps out here doing cup checks. Vintage Trav, welcome on in. New follow. We're going to have something interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, Vintage Trav, that is the LG AHL commissioner. We're about 9 minutes away right now from him joining as an extra guest here on the Mezcast. You got any questions you want to ask the LG AHL commissioner? Now's the time. Be working those questions in. Hey, Porter, I know it can be annoying or frustrating. Some team is going to be very, very happy to have you, especially because you fell. I promise. It's all going to work out just the way it's supposed to. Real demon.
Yeah, I mean, it's still early on. I mean, you can look at the stats. You got 68 forward, 42 defender, and 13 goalie spots left. So there's still a lot of time.
Yep.
Oh yeah, plenty of time. Just getting started.
And on top of that, just because you don't go tonight, it is an extended, I believe, 48-hour plus period. A lot of teams are going to blow through most of their budget tonight, and they're going to have to get value picking tomorrow. They're going to have to. So, again, just because you may end up being the best player on their team, and if you provide that at $750,000 value, that's how you win championships. Let's double check Discord, see if he's ready to go. Not just yet. All right, Porter. We'll go take a look, see what you got. I saw Coda Choda's name out there. That's a player I'm familiar with. Porter Airlines. Probably not a goalie, that's why. Right, D-Man.
Probably not.
Last season in the AHL. 13, 11, and 1. 0-2 and 0 in the playoffs. Did have 3 goals in the regular season. Little under on assists. Previously a CHL player, so jumped from the CHL. Looks like had a pretty good season there. 17, 7 and 0. Plus 29. 3-2 and 1 record in the playoffs. Fairly respectable numbers. So likely a player that'll be looking for a bid here soon. Of course, again, defenseman. I can't say it enough. It's the difference between the okay teams and the really good teams. So, just because you hadn't been hit there doesn't mean it's not happening. Crawford 50X, appreciate the follow. Bucky Bear 88, welcome on in. Glad to have you here as well. We're checking out LG AHL bidding. Let me take it to the top. Shy Southsider, welcome on in. Glad to have you hanging out here with us on the Mezcast. We'll roll this back to the top. Like no significant movement at the top. So let's do bidding. I'll pull back up goalies. Just give the broad spectrum from y'all while I take just a couple minutes to get Vintage Trav all set up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, this bidding right now looks like it's all over the place. Just a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Looks like it's slowing down a little bit though.
Yeah, you're gonna get that lull now, I think.
Yeah.
You're gonna get, so you get the opening rush. I know you wanted to go over the 750K guys, and a lot of those guys, if you're like expiring, a lot of those guys that are been 750K for probably like an hour and a half now or whatever, they're
Yeah.
probably gonna stay there. They might go up during the night. Like, I know some guys might get a random bid at like 4 in the morning before the timer runs out, or like 2 or whatever time it ends. You'll probably get a lot of guys who get that. It's definitely gonna look a little bit different tomorrow. I wouldn't be shocked if a lot of the top guys are gone by the morning, and then a lot of your second liners, maybe some of your second pairs, backup goalies are going to be there in the morning.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised about that either, honestly. It looks like
Yeah,
it's definitely been slowing down.
Yeah. Like if I wake up and I still have a bit, I would probably be shocked. I mean, depending on time I wake up, I guess.
Yeah, I think if I was in particularly doing it, I would want to hit for like the first hour and a half. Go take a 6-hour sleep break, and then make sure before everybody's bid has come up that you have time to review. Oh, hey, I think this person's undervalued. Let me go throw this in. Like, at least you or part of your management team almost have to be checking almost every 6 hours, in my opinion. If you want to max min, if you want to be sweaty about it.
That was like, I remember when I did my managing last summer it was me, Gonzo, and Ghost MK. When we did ours, we all were in a chat when it happened. We picked our starting guys who we wanted, threw our bids out. That was also when it was on like a Wednesday, I think. So we're like, okay, well, who's gonna work tomorrow? Who's staying up late, right? I think I stayed up to around 12:30, and I think Gonzo checked everything at like 2 in the morning because he was still up, and then I think we left it until I think I checked at like 6 in the morning when I got up. So it was a little chaotic, but that's kind of how it is. I mean, you kind of gotta get somebody, especially in the weekends. Like now, if I was an owner, I'd probably be up until 4 because I don't need to do weekends. So I'd be up till 4. I'd be checking everything because I'm sweaty about that. Some guys aren't like that.
We're in the AHL. It's a lot of sweat at this point for sure.
Well, I know guys who have done bidding and then their owners fell asleep and then they were told, hey, I'll take it over, and then they fell asleep and nobody checked bids until the morning, and then they lost like 4 guys. So that's happened before.
That's tragic.
I believe it. I believe it. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we have our special guest on in here with us, Vintage Trav, LG AHL Commissioner. Welcome on into the Mezcast for the LG AHL Bidding. How's your night going? Uh-oh. We don't hear you.
Oh, no.
Sorry, Rexy, I technically have to take you down. Try again, Vintage.
No, you're good.
You know what? No, I can pop the video out to a new screen. That's what we should do. Well, Vintage, pop on in as soon as you can make the voice work. Let us know. No, we got it working for sure. Yep, it's the right screen. Perfect. So there we go. Rexy back on up. You know what? It's time for me to throw some emotes in chat. I haven't done so yet today. You know what? Will be oddly self-serving. The Mezcast logo. Of course, if you haven't seen, again, my stream here normally during the LG season, Sundays and Tuesday nights, announcing everywhere from LG NCAA all the way up to LG NHL. I've got the Mezcast lamp. That is certainly the one we like to utilize when goal scores happen. And if you get a hat trick on stream, we hit you 3 times with a hat trick horn. Certainly a reason to pop off. You've got a reason to hit the emotes out there. We've got the emote wall up. They'll pop up here on stream. Looks like we've got a call for goalies. Hey, Bilal, if I wake up without a bid, I'm going to rage uninstall and then reinstall anyway. Sound like me with Tarkov.
Can you guys
Yeah, we can hear you.
now?
We can. Welcome on in, Vintage Trav.
There we go. I'm here. I don't know what's going on there, but I figured it out. I got boomer hands, boomer brain, you know what I mean? So, but we're here now, so.
Here you go.
Welcome on in, Vintage. How's the evening going so far?
That. We're going. We just got back from dinner, checking out bidding, seeing, who's going, who's not going, and we're here, so.
couple of the names I definitely recognize for sure. Curious to see where they go. 406. He's been a CHL player, but a rising tender for sure. Also quite familiar with my man Spoon the Goon, a.k.a. X Spoony. Solid player. I know he's owned as well, so got a lot of experience he can certainly provide to your team. iPoverty, been a multi-season owner of, I believe, the Seattle Thunderbirds, I think that is. The LG AHL. At least season 46 and 47. I'm almost certain that's where he's been. But any names in particularly striking for you, Trav? Undervalued, overvalued, too soon?
I'm looking at. I always look at the top because I think that's where everybody goes. So obviously, you want to see who gets paid the most, and I don't really see too many like crazy surprises here. You knew Mimic was going to get paid. You knew CM was going to get paid. A staff member and an all-around great player. You knew he was going to get paid. Clinch did it on both consoles before the merger. You knew he was going to get paid. I don't really see too many names at the top that are crazy to me. I mean, the more surprising thing is with the new paid AGM system we put into place. Some of these guys, I know CM can't, but didn't take a paid AGM for a $750K contract. That's more surprising to me. Someone like Clinch, who's managed in the past, didn't take advantage of that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that'll start.
And honestly, a non-bid might be myself, if I'm being honest. But here we are. That's just the way it goes.
Well, let's shall we go take a look?
No, let's not do.
You sure? You sure? We're right here.
We should.
No.
take a look.
No. So,
All right.
I think we should.
I'll start. All right. We'll go. We'll go look here. We'll go look here. I don't think I'm actually going to show up. Yeah, I'm not eligible for bidding because I didn't add myself. But let's see if we can go find my record here, and you'll have some real fun. All right. I can't ever remember where it is here. I have a 3-8-3 record.
If you go to any league, and it should say like my career, or my something, or it should show right there. I think to the right of the screen, I think it should show like my career or my something.
Let's just go to my games. That'll probably get me close. Nope. I know it's not good. It's 3-8-3. I'm like negative 26 as a defenseman in the CHL.
It's not great, but it's all right though.
It's not great, but it's not too bad.
No. I mean, I've seen worse. I've seen better.
For CHL,
for sure.
it's not too bad.
I've seen worse.
I was on the last
I've
place
definitely
team in the
seen
CHL that season. I played for the Spokane Chiefs, so it was. I think we had half our wins with me, so I do take that as a big win. Sergach has recently joined LG Media, so that'll be somebody you'll be seeing more info from. Going to be providing some graphics. So if you haven't seen, if you're unfamiliar, there's been a big call out. We're trying to really bolster our LG Media department. There's a big ask primarily for write-ups. That was one of the biggest requests we saw in the poll that got sent out there. So WXIA, I believe is what it is, the new head of LG Media, taking over for Big Kahuna after a great season. All right, I got my cheat sheet, so unless there's a name y'all want to go see, I kind of want to go look at some names and see what people think.
I think we should still see Trav.
See, the thing about calling
yeah.
out low bids. The thing about calling out low bids is you don't want to put anybody. You don't like anybody who's trying to, any manager who's trying to get someone at a low price.
True.
You also don't want to blow them up. You don't
True.
want to give them, you know what I mean? You don't want to give them a reason for someone to bid them up. You want to just let them be,
Okay. I think the thing I've seen the most, or I feel like the most, is sometimes even after 2 seasons combined with Xbox and PSN, there still is a hesitancy to mix. Like, I know a lot of PSN guys are like, I won't play with Xbox. PSN parties only. What? No, let's just play good hockeys and play in the EA lobby, which is just as good audio and just as responsive.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what's crazy is I played both consoles before the merger. As
Okay.
you can see, LG for probably way too long, truthfully, longer than I'd like to admit. But I played both consoles. So I played, I mean, you have it up to show everybody my good and bad. More recently, it's been bad than good. But I did win a cup on PSN.
Ooh.
In the ECHL, so soft flex there. I did have a 25 win season.
Yeah,
as you can see there.
25, 3 and
kinda-
0.
I
Ooh.
see that.
Ooh.
Yeah, so kind of tore it up on the PSN AHL side, but everybody says, Xbox, PSN, Xbox, PSN, whatever.
Man's
But,
got a Calder Cup.
Have played both, have been around forever. But over the last few years, since the merger, honestly, kind of since I joined staff, I've been jumped around, passed around, kind of. I got crazy overpaid last year in the ECHL, 7 mil or 7. I think it was 7.25, 7.5, something like that. That's a tough contract to have. No matter what, no matter
We talked about that
how
earlier.
good or bad you are.
We
it's
talked
tough,
about
man.
that.
Once you get over 6.5, it's tough.
You're
Yeah.
really having to carry a lot of the team. And Bender, that is Birexsie. That is our other person here on camera. Additionally, on top of that, we got Holland in the booth, and we got Vintage Trav. That's right, LG AHL Commissioner hanging out here with us. We're reviewing the play right now, and I gotta ask Vintage, is it thumbs too? Like, are we just getting older? Is it getting that much harder?
So full disclosure, I am 35 years old. So that's part of it too. So that happens, and as you get older, part of the thumbs do start to go, but it's also the time. You know what I mean? Like there are some of these younger guys, and they have a lot more time to be able to dedicate and play. And one of the biggest things about this is having chemistry, and that was part of the PSN success that I did have. Is I played with the same guys. I played with Corey 95 and Murph Wizzle, which are two guys that I played with for probably 3 or 4 calendar years, not seasons, calendar years. So we had a good, we didn't really have to play outside of LG. We didn't have to play outside of LG. We could just pick up the game and go because we had played so much together. But that kind of dries up like everything else. The game changes. Players, get older. They get their own lives. They do different things. And, now I've just kind of been passed around. So that's part of it. And not being able to play as much as I used to. You could play for hours and hours and hours before. Now, life happens. Plus taking staff and trying to help the league out and do that kind of stuff too. It all takes away.
Absolutely. When I decided to go media, I just had to stop playing. People are always like, why don't you play? Because I have 2 kids that are basically 2 and under. So, you've got your choice, and I'd much rather announce. I'd much prefer the pressure on this side. I'm my own harshest critic here. I'd have a lot of critics if I was trying to play on a team.
Yeah, I feel that.
I've made a recent transition. I've been a defender, but I'm trying now to learn how to play left wing. So
that's harder.
It's so hard. It's a goal scorer's got to score.
Yeah. I'd rather stay goalie.
Oh, goalie. Goalie's the way to go, man.
That one scares me.
You can almost cast and play goalie at the same time.
I'm confident enough to cast my game. I've done a lot of practice with that, but I don't think I could do the quad box like that. And man,
No.
And Vintage, out of curiosity, did you see when I was announcing 8 at a time?
I didn't. So I saw some of the playoff coverage, but I couldn't imagine trying to. Because then getting all the players and the matchups and
you do your best. Unfortunately, a lot of it really gets screwed, in my opinion, by the name issue that EA has. That's the hardest part. Is I just can't pull up that many rosters to be 100% perfect. But when you're doing that many here, I'll briefly show it here. It looks like the Brady Bunch. I'm literally I'm Alice right here in the middle, and I surround myself with 8 different games. So it's a little bit chaos. You focus on the important events. What are the big goals? What are the big turning points? What are the important penalties that you just got to give the all the sound effects, all the goodness too. So
yeah, the most important part is that someone's doing it. That's the biggest thing. Is having the coverage and having someone who is willing to put their voice, put their ability to be able to cover it and to be able to understand, and you're doing it for fun. in reality, you're doing it for fun. You're doing
Yep.
it for kicks. You're doing it
Yep.
for giggles. You're doing it for laughs, and like that's really the biggest thing. And kind of the same thing as being
so
a
much
staff
fun.
member, honestly.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit different way to be a part of it all, and I love being
Except
this part of it.
I don't get any laughs and giggles when I'm a staff member. I just get swears and you're a jerk.
For sure. We give out big love to you, to all the admins that help make everything. Bender, I'm not sure exactly about CHL coverage. Unfortunately, I will not have that one. I would have loved to have opened up that bidding as well. I will definitely be here. I'm covering the LG NCAA draft, and then we'll have opening night for sure here on the Mezcast. But ECHL and CHL bidding nights, be on the lookout. Again, we've had a big request out for extra media members trying to get stuff going on. So as soon as we have that information for you in Bender, but really trying to get Wizia still fully up and running. It takes some time to get fully in the seat of LG Media and everything we're trying to add. So be on the lookout. New write-ups, new shows, new podcasts. As always, we'll have definitely some announcers all the way around. So be on the lookout for that. Make sure you support the people that show up for your LG Media. That is super, super important. So if it's make sure you comment on all of their posts. If it's a forum post, make sure you do everything you can. Like, follow, subscribe, everything. Give your content creators some love. That certainly helps keep us coming back. At least me personally, that's how I rebuild the battery each time. Zumek says, as a CHL manager, thank you for not covering bidding. Much appreciated. See, we talked about that. We don't want to give up too much away, but I want to give a chance to show some people some items. Vintage, let me ask you, anything new this season? Anything changing, exciting? What should everybody know about out there?
I mean, for me personally, I'm a big proponent since I took over. This is my third, fourth season now as commissioner. And one of my biggest things is trying to make the bidding pool as competitive and as talent filled as it should be. And I think the introduction of the $750K paid AGM this year after NHL bidding is a really cool aspect that we added. Some people aren't going to like it because then it makes the next tier maybe overpaid a little bit and the third tier maybe overpaid a little bit. But I think it rewards the player and it prevents dodging, which is one of, if not my biggest pet peeve when it comes to the league is dodging. And I know Holland's in here, and he was on my staff last season, and it was one thing that I really, really try and prevent people from doing is I think players should be able to play to their capability. Like even if you're a third line NHLer by the way the community sets you, I think you should still go to the NHL.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't, here's how I look at it. If you don't, then that means that an AHLer, either first line or second line AHLer, then has to go up and play that third line NHL. And that skill gap is going to be so much bigger from a third line AHLer to a second line, from a third line NHLer to a second line AHLer. It's just going to make that experience even worse. And I think, I don't know, my biggest thing is just trying to get players to play in the league that they're supposed to play in. And I know people want to play with friends and guys want to play with friends. And, I've said it now for a while. If you don't want it to be, this is a competitive league. If you don't want to play competitive, be a pro on rookie. Like that's just how I look at it.
Hey, shout out.
This is a league. This is something that it doesn't cost you anything to play. It's free to play. And I know guys want to play with friends, but I just think you really should go to a level. And that's why I'm a little tougher on selecting managers, but I think it's better for the league, and it's better that guys who should go to the end and not dodge to the A. And guys who should be in the A go to the A and don't dodge to the E, and so on. And it's a trickle-down effect.
Agreed. I love that a lot. I want to see primarily only new people in the CHL. Some guys that have skilled up in the NCAA or haven't been playing a ton of competitive. They've got to get their prospect games in before they become a veteran. But I want to rewind for just a moment. Want to make sure that I'm clear. So after NHL bidding is done, all players that are available, they can go out and select an assistant general manager that gets locked in at $750,000.
Right. So right now, the way that it works, is the AHL. The NHL owners selected their AHL GMs and their AHL AGMs. So those are your two free contracts. And from there, you still have your paid AGM, which in the past, we've done after bidding, you can assign one, so you could pay a guy $7 million and make him your paid AGM. Last year, I believe it was an average of your last 3 contracts, so you still could assign them, but that was before every bidding. So a guy could realistically apply in the AHL who maybe should be in the NHL. This year, we came up with the idea to, after NHL bidding, the AHL owners or GMs and AGMs can select a paid AGM. They have to agree. They can't just send it out randomly to anybody. They have to agree to do it, to be their paid AGM for $750K. And the same thing will work for the ECHL after AHL bidding. They'll be able to pick their paid AGM for $750K.
I like that. I like that a lot. Gotta pause for just a moment. Gotta give a big shout out to Great Scotty, aka CNC Leagues. That's 5 gifted subs right there. So Thingy, welcome to the booth. Shieldsy, welcome to the booth. B-Wubs, welcome to the booth. X-Cashy, welcome to the booth. And T-Banam, welcome to the booth. 5 gifted subs. Appreciate the love out there, Scotty.
A weird flex during an LG stream, but I still.
Hey, that's homie. That's homie. So
respect.
Appreciate him coming out here. So plenty of great players in both leagues that play together. So that's certainly a few of the names I've been looking at, just seeing where people go, and of course where I know people as well, because I'm more used, again, that CHL, that NCAA. Of course, that's what I covered last season for LG. So a little bit more knowledge there than opposed to some of these names that we got going on.
Now he's just showing off.
I was going to say, now he's just showing off. So,
Yeah.
All right, give me just a second. We got to roll it on up here. What is wrong with the alerts? Because I don't see them popping anymore. Did I break the alert box? What happened? All right, so let me roll it up from the top, and I'm going to clip this at the end. So 20 gifted subs rolling on in here, wanting that number 2 spot all time behind Josh Team. It's 46 gifted subs. So O'Clamps, welcome to the booth. Super Roger 11, welcome to the booth. Cappy, welcome to the booth. Clap Bomb City 69, welcome to the booth. Ozzy 9041, welcome to the booth. Oh Flyers, welcome to the booth. Wickedly Moist, welcome to the booth. Bedsy 98, welcome to the booth. Morald 89, up the right boards, into the booth. Top Cheddar, slapping it from far away, welcome to the booth. Reshuffled, welcome to the booth. Rosemont, BBQ, welcome to the booth. Prince is Hines. Is that Prince Hines? Welcome to the booth. Decay 72, welcome to the booth. Toxic Slayer 88, welcome to the booth. Gion, Shakiris, welcome to the booth. It's moving on me. Hands on Wood, welcome to the booth. The Obama Lamb, welcome to the booth. And I'm Fidel Cashflow. Welcome to the booth. I know, Fidel, you're certainly out there popping off tonight. I believe you're up there in bidding. I'm Fidel Cashflow right there. 6 mil, 12 bids between 2 teams. There are 2 teams who are locked in on you.
He's a very, very, very good defenseman.
Okay. Well, good to know. Oh, Decay, you don't even know. Josh Team, our all-time gifted sub, he drops 50 at a time. So we do that double and then half again. So 50 in a row is quite a bit. But no, are you kidding? We announce here for up to 3 hours at a time as required. Quad box chaos. Octo box madness if you've never seen it. I try to give it my best Red Zone impersonation. That's for darn sure. Let's give a fresh update. Clutch Lang moving up. We got a couple of centers moving their way up. Top Tittans. Alex or A7EX, 4 million. So Holland, you spent some time. Appreciate you, Scotty, hitting the goal, buddy. Big love there for sure. Losing my mind. Birexsie, Holland, questions for Trav?
Sorta. I'm just curious about the 750K thing, Trav. I know you introduced that because I was thinking about being a paid GM, but like I was thinking maybe I can get an N bid and I didn't. So now I fall to the A, and obviously I'm already 3 mil at C. If I go up more, I go up more, whatever, right? If I don't, I don't. I feel like there's a lot of guys here that maybe should have got N bids that fell down, and then there's a couple guys that are maybe 70K that I guess is my question is did you guys think about maybe guys who would have fallen that definitely should be in the end that could probably now be 70K? Like I don't think I should be 70K if I would have taken the bid or like the job, right? Like did you guys think about that on your end? Like hey, maybe there are guys that probably shouldn't be 750K that might be.
Yeah, for sure. There were actually guys who were I think Peck took 750K AGM this year, and he was an NHL owner last season. So yeah, sure, there are going to be guys who if they go down, if they fall into the A, they're going to get overpaid, and it almost it's there to incentivize guys to go into bidding who do fall. Now you can't change positions, so once I think Crow signed up as a goalie instead of a defenseman. If he went as a defenseman, he probably would have gotten an NHL bid. Now he signed up as a goalie and he didn't get an NHL bid, so he couldn't take the 750K and then switch positions. So it certainly like that is a thing, but it rewards the players who may fall or slip through bidding, and maybe like yourself, you're probably an NHL level player, you happen to fall through. Now instead of getting overpaid and it ruining your season, I mean, and going 6.5, 7 mil, 7.5 mil instead of ruining your season, you can take that paid AGM salary, manage, be a part of a team, help build a team, and you're only 750K and your season's not completely washed away. So it kind of rewards those players, in my opinion. I can be wrong. People can tell me I'm wrong, and that's fine. But I think it helps reward those players where I know yourself, you've done management before. And so if it's something that you want to do and you can take that role, and then it's better than, becoming 7 mil and then taking paid AGM, you get the 750K, and then, you can build your team that way or help build a team that way.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed too. Like, I was looking at the NHL bidding, and it just seems like there's a lot of guys who I feel like I'm not really throwing shade at. Personally, I'd rather be in the A at this point just because of how it seems like. But there seems like a lot of guys, especially for goalies that went in the end that shouldn't been. Like I was saying earlier, I don't think Crofto is an AHL goalie. I think he's an NHL goalie. I don't know what the hell he's doing down here still. My buddy Malarkey, he's left wing. I don't think he has a bid yet in the A yet, but I don't think he should be in the A. He was an NHL player season before, and he had a solid, like, very good playoff. So I don't know what the hell is happening up there, but that's up there. It's just something I noticed that I see in the bidding, because I mean it seems like a pretty big drop off. It goes 8.5, 8 mil, 7.5, 6, and then it starts to kind of temper off 5, and then it kind of goes to like 3, 2. It's really sporadic. It looks like. I don't know. That's just what I'm noticing.
Yeah, there are actually quite a few names on here that I think are undervalued, underpaid right now. But I'm not going to call them out or say anything. But
yeah,
there are guys on this list that I think that could go significantly higher, and probably should be significantly higher. But you know what? It's not my job to call out those players or help managers build their teams. They're going to build their teams how they see fit, and in some cases they guys bid on buddies, or they bid on guys they're familiar with or they know. And that helps skew the market a little bit, and maybe some guys can sneak under the radar, or some guys who maybe shouldn't be end up because they're buddies with or have played with guys that are now managers that they've done in the past. So
yeah, and that was gonna be my big point to Wickedly Moist. I really like the bidding system over a draft because of that. I like the draft at the top end to really get those elite picks out of there, but so much gets built in the bidding system that is just truly unique more than anything else. I really love the bidding system for that, because like you said, some guys can slip under the radar and they're gonna make an owner or GM so happy, and it shows that they did the research, they did the work, or that they have the right people around them, that hey, I know this guy, he's undervalued right now.
Right. And there are going to be, and the other thing, the biggest thing that we look at, or I look at personally from a from a staff, from a commissioner standpoint, is the season, like the value in the season, and not ruining seasons, not ruining experiences. When a guy goes for a substantial amount, sometimes that ruins your season because they're expected to carry the guys around them. Maybe there's guys that really don't belong, but because of the way bidding went, they needed to get 750K bids because a guy like you're pointing out right now, CM goes for 825. maybe that ruins their season, and that's not
Right.
enjoyable.
Right.
That contract becomes nearly untradeable because of how high it is. That's
Right.
not fun for anybody.
Right.
So I think for me personally, when I managed to before I took on staff, I didn't want to spend a ton of money. I spent a ton of money on Murph because that's one of the boys, but he was good and we won together and built a line, whatever. I didn't love to spend over $6.5 million on
Yeah.
a player.
Yeah.
Because anything over that, it's a hard contract to trade.
Yeah.
Especially with the salary caps the way that it is. So you don't want to handcuff yourself as a manager, and you also don't want to handcuff a player either. So it's an interesting line, an interesting thing to do. So
I wouldn't be a heavy spender as well. I'd really want to find a good group of guys that could carry my first two lines in particular, with a bulk of the money, and find a bunch of 750s who are going to provide the value, that are going to bust their ass, every single game, just happy to be playing.
Yeah, so I want to, like I said, I want to call her in season 21 on PSN, and I didn't trade a single forward. All our forwards out of bidding stayed with us. All 9 guys stayed with us the whole way. We didn't trade a single forward.
Wow.
And I think that was the way to go. You build chemistry, you build the lines,
Absolutely.
you get everybody together, and they all. I don't even know if we changed lines very often, and just kind of let everybody run. We traded D-man, we upgraded a couple D-man along the way, but no forwards, no goalies got traded. So that's 11 guys that were there the whole way.
Taking a look
I
at
was going to ask here real quick
Yeah.
while you look at that mess on your side. Trav, how did you think the management for AHL was? I was streaming a little bit before Mez started, and I had a couple guys in my stream. I was just kind of going through each roster with the management, I guess tandems or trios that they had. How do you think that it came out overall on your end? 'Cause I know you had I know the discussion before I left my staff was that a lot of guys in the A didn't want to go to the N to manage because they were going to get egoed maybe, or maybe they were just going to go to crap teams. Maybe they know a lot of people. How do you think it kind of turned out overall? I saw a couple guys that maybe should have gone up, but then other than that, to me it seemed pretty solid. There's nothing too overpowering. Maybe a couple teams here and there, but how did you see it fit for the season?
So I think last season we had a very, very competitive league from the N all the way to the C. I think games were decided. Playoff spots were decided the very last night of the season. So I think it was pretty good last season, and I think we improved on that for this season. I think you see some of the thing about it now is some of these AGMs that are in place. There are a lot of guys I didn't expect to pass through bidding. So we have guys like Peck was one I mentioned earlier, Nuxie. Those are guys I truly didn't think that they would make it through. Once they make it through, that's the community or the people saying that they're now an AHL level player.
Yep.
They didn't get a bid. Excuse me. So, I think we have some very, very, very talented AHL players in management this year, and I think we have some really good team builders too. So I think there's like 3 or 4 teams that came up, almost management duos that came up from the ECHL who built really good teams, and now they're in the A. So I think we have a good complement of talent and good team builders, because management is not just about talent. You want to have the thumb skill, but you also want to be able to build a team. I always said you want to be a second or third line player as a manager in the A.
Yes,
You
sir.
want to build the top line, and you want to make, if it was a perfect world, be a third line player and be able to build good teams. Doesn't always work out that way. But
I would argue
I think
that's usually how the best player coaches end up being throughout all levels of sports. I think there's a certain level of general sports IQ you have to have, a chemistry understanding, and you end up spending a little bit more time next to the coach. So you get to see a little bit more of that side of the game than necessarily LeBron's going to spend his whole career playing, more than 25 minutes a game.
Right. So we have Dahmer and Snipe Show. They came out from the E. I think they built 2 really good teams the last 2 years. So that's a team that's a team that I think you want to look out for because they're probably going to build a pretty good team. Then you have guys like Shem and Smarshy who have success in the A, who also build good teams. There's a good balance between the two, and I think it's going to be another competitive season.
Nice. Oh wow, Big Kahuna's officially owning the Chicago Wolves.
Another guy coming up from the
Yeah.
That's another one. Yep.
Big shout out, Big Kahuna. Season 47, head of media. I'm taking a look through the teams, just kind of reviewing some of these. I know some of these players, but it's a little less than half for sure.
Yeah, I did. I looked through before before you guys started streaming, and I knew I knew pretty much a lot of them. I don't know if you want to run through the rosters again, and I can kind of help you out a bit. When I went through them, I was looking at them all. I guess my other question, real quick here for Trav. The guys who did fall that you maybe didn't think were gonna fall. Do you have any concerns that could be an issue with the maybe skill level? They're just gonna dominate the league type of thing, or do you think there's enough talent overall that it should maybe cover that up a bit, maybe better than last season? Because I know go season to go. I know Celebrini or Bray had 100 points, had like a terrible SOS, and had dominated. Then he got swept, right? Do you think that this maybe will be a different thing with the guys who fell that are now 750K that maybe should have been in the end? Do you think it's competitive enough that it'll be covered up a bit?
I think the talent will be spread enough. I don't think that's going to be a huge factor. And then Celebrini, which we forced up, who had a really good AHL season, we forced them up, and they had a really good NHL season. The guy can play at that level. I know that's who you use as an example, but he can play at that level. But
I was always a critic of him only because I played against him in CNC, and to me he was good, but he wasn't like the impressive type. And then I looked at his SOS when he played and he had like 100 points, and he's playing like basically third line guys. I'm like, okay, this is not. To me, it's like okay, this is not fair because he's just crushing his crap players. And I remember I was saying that in the I think managing champ before I left. And people are like, no, he has like an SOS of like 80. I'm like, nah, I'll find the screenshot. I'm pretty sure I found the screenshot of the last week of LG, and his SOS was like 3%, and he was like 23 and like 1 or whatever. I'm like, that's not, to me, fair. That just seems like, I'm just having fun, I'm just throwing away. Then you get swept in round 1. It's like, okay, that's just basically like, I don't care. I'm just going to have a fun season. I'm going to the end anyway. To me, that's almost like, I would be pissed if I was the guys on that team, to be honest.
I mean, that's called being a Dallas Cowboys fan. Sorry.
or Maple Leafs fan, I guess.
Yeah. Sorry for the Maple Leafs fans out there.
So I'll be honest, I don't care about strength of schedule. I look at your overall record, your point output, I watch games throughout the season. I'll tune into streams, I'll watch streams and just see a player's skill level. But to me, if you're free contract management and you're scrub hunting, not a great look. It's not a great look. But I don't take strength of schedule into too much consideration. To me, if you have 21, 22, 23, maybe you got 20 wins, you might be playing out of your league. You might be playing below the league you should be playing in.
Yeah.
And that's not always the case, but it more times than not, it is the case. And there are guys who had 20 wins this year who tried to come back that we said, you know what, we want to see you. We want to see you go up. We want to see you at least give it a shot. And I don't have the numbers in front of me, but there was something like halfway through bidding, I think we rejected like 35, 40 guys. And halfway through bidding, over half of them had NHL bids. So we weren't really that was through NHL bidding. So we really weren't that far off. I don't have the exact numbers, but I just think, like I said, my biggest thing is trying to get the talent, push it to the top. This is not a friends league. This is not a, this isn't a bring your own team. There's a reason there's a bidding system. There's a reason why we have, how in depth the website is and how good of a job Trish does.
How in depth the prospect system is, that you can't just immediately go straight to the NHL. You can't be an unknown that flies fully under the radar. So, you definitely got to give props to owners and GMs that find good talent as they're finding their way up. But at the same time, hats off for having a system that forces players up, that says, no, sorry, you need to go. And if you hit the NHL and you're kicking everybody's ass there, well, they're all just going to have to skill up and find a way to be with you. But I definitely would love to see that, especially as I really want to see that CHL, especially with 64 teams in the CHL and the NCAA expanding. I want to see those younger, newer players really get a chance to shine and win at their talent level and work their way up. So if you're not familiar, I think it's 72 games you have to play at the CHL before you lose your prospect status and can go to the ECHL or above.
You can get drafted, but yeah, you can get drafted as a prospect, and then you work, like, you can go anywhere into the NAE or even the C still. But before you can go into bidding, you have to play. I think you're right. I think it's 72 games, but you can always get drafted before that, which is really what the CHL and the NCAA should really, they want prospects.
Absolutely.
You want to see prospects come up, and you want to see. No, I don't at 35, but you want to see young kids come in and keep pushing and getting better, and the league's just getting better and better and better. And the talent should flow to the top.
Good, yeah, and that's the great thing about such a competitive league. Sorry to cut you off, Rexy. Go ahead.
Oh, I didn't say anything.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was restarting.
Colin.
No, I was gonna say that's what Trav said and what you were saying. That's basically like the approach I took. I started playing in NHL. Summer of NHL 18 is when I started taking LG seriously. Like, hey, I'm gonna stop playing. At the time I was playing COD competitively. I'm gonna stop playing COD. I'm gonna go to CHL because I was much better at CHL. And the first season of summer of NHL 18, I was on TC, and then I played the owner, and I was like dominating. He's like, all right, I'm gonna actually call you up. So then I got drafted in NHL 19, and I went to the A, had 2 seasons there, and then kind of went, to the N, went down, then I kind of back up. That's the ideal, I think, path for a lot of people. Is you go to the C, kind of work your way up, get drafted, and then you can either, unless you're very, very, very good, you go to the N. But then most times I think you'd want to go to the A. If you're bad, you go to the C or below. But I think ideally for new guys, and I tell people this all the time that don't play LG or are new to it, I'm like, hey, like you play your games, you kind of work your way up. Like if you're good, you're gonna get recognized. It may not be right away, but if you are good, you're gonna get recognized. And I always tell people this too. Like when I was playing in the CHL, like as TC, and I'm playing like all like the the owners and the rosters as a TC, I'm playing these games. I'm like, these guys suck. And looking back, they did suck because I was better than a lot of them, and that's not like an ego thing. That's just how it was, considering the fact how quickly I did progress into the A and into the N. And that's how it is. That's how, if you're good in this league, you will move up. And smart owners will find you. They will find who's actually good and who's not actually good, and they will sift through the guys and pick them. And that's just, unfortunately, that's how it is. And a lot of guys get butthurt and they go, well, why is this guy better? It's like, well, he's just better. And unfortunately, it's kind of how it is. And I think that's how it always should be. The NHL should have the best, and the AHL and so on. And obviously, you're going to get guys who slip through the cracks and things like that, but that's partially kind of how the league unfortunately is. Like you were talking about earlier, Trav, like some guys who fall through and then they take the PAGM. It's kind of how it is.
Yeah, but with the system now, at least they like when you say they fall through, at least the NHL owners decided that player wasn't worth the 750K at that level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it saves it. But I think the nice thing we added, I think it was last season. Forgive me, because we have so many talks and
They blend.
Yeah, they really do. I think it was last season. It was the first season that we implemented what we called the second chance draft, because I was sitting there and there are guys who just routinely go to the CHL and no fault of their own. Maybe they have a bad record, they have bad stats, they had a couple bad seasons, and now they're a veteran and they don't have the chance to get drafted and be on like a good contract. They go to the CHL, they get 6-7 mil, and it's just a repeating pattern for them. And I said, well, what about the game changes? So you remember NHL 20 and NHL 21, it was all about L2, it was all about shiftiness and that kind of stuff. And there were some guys who really thrived in that environment, myself included. And then the game changed and it became more about team play, more about zone protection, zone coverage, straight lines, that kind of stuff. And maybe another guy who has played LG for 5 seasons, who didn't really get the L2 thing going, and now they're good at straight lining, or they're good at the new system, they should have another chance to be able to get drafted. They should be able to try and go to the N on a cheap contract or the A on a cheap contract. And so we introduced that. So veterans and that kind of stuff, they now have a second chance to kind of build their game and grow and not necessarily get thrown to the CHL just because of a bad pass. I think that's another good step to keep evolving as the games evolve.
Absolutely. Hey, Birexsie, appreciate the tier
Yeah,
1
no problem.
subscription. So, Birexsie, welcome to the booth in more ways than one. Glad to have you here. We missed a couple other follows recently. Deeks for Life 12. He's the owner of, I saw the team, but he's an AHL owner for sure. Nigel from Tinder, smashing.
Milwaukee, he is.
Appreciate the
Deeks
follow.
in
Glad to have you
Milwaukee,
here. And GGUQT. Thank you for the follow. We got LG AHL review here. Start of bidding. Sergach XV. Appreciate the follow as well. We've got the full party going on here. All draft contracts should be $750. Now you're just out there trolling.
That's the same
Jason
guy who
Mez.
told me to shut up. Huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think so.
Monster 207, thank you for the follow.
Jesus, that's funny.
I wasn't being disrespectful. I just thought it was funny that CNC came. Like, respect, honestly. But I can see how it could be, taken the wrong way.
like you
Not my
said,
intent.
it's a weird flex, but no, I appreciate him. They helped get me my Twitch affiliate status, so I'm definitely feeling the love on that one. So it's a great time.
So, as I'm getting some requests in my DMs, people want to see the rosters before bidding, like what they are right now. Kind of go through them with Trav possibly commenting on them. I don't know if he can though. I don't think that'd be fair. I know you said you're looking through, you don't know a ton of people. Like I said, I know a decent amount because a lot of them are PSN guys. I also did play some Xbox, so I know a lot of the Xbox names too. But like I said, I went through on my stream before you started, but that was kind of briefly with like 15 viewers. I know you're following now, so I don't know if you want to go through that while we take a break from maybe bidding since it's kind of cooled off here.
Yeah, sounds good to me. And then we'll come back. We'll take a fresh look at recent bids, and then likely that'll be our time. Trav, you're welcome to stay as long as you'd like. We'd love to have you here. And
I'm here. I'm good.
Cool. Just giving you the out if you need to step away at any point. So the Abbotsford Canucks, Zeramon, Asa Dude, and Christopher. These are definitely three I'm not familiar with out the gate.
Christopher, I'm pretty sure, is a longtime PSN guy. If I'm not wrong, if that's the same tag, I believe it is. I could be Trav. You probably can confirm that. I think he's a PSN guy. Yeah, he is. He's a longtime PSN guy. Yes, he is the Christopher.
Oh, Chris. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Chris is a
many
longtime
tabs.
PSN. That's who I thought.
So many tabs.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, he is a longtime PSN guy that I know.
Oh.
I believe these guys are solid. That's what I said. Somebody in my chat earlier said you're saying a lot of these teams are fine. 'Cause he kept saying they're fine. Like honestly, a lot of them are. Like a lot of these, you'll see a lot of these management trios and deals they're pretty good. They're pretty accurate, and a lot of the names I recognize, and they are fair from what I saw.
Yeah,
And
a lot
that-
of
and
these
that's the thing.
guys I find are former Xbox AHL guys and former. There's a lot of PSN NHLers.
Yeah, That's what I was saying. That's what I was
Yeah.
telling Wiz and telling Mez earlier. Is that I've been PSN pretty much the entire time here. I have played Xbox, and obviously I'm very invested in LG and esports, as you know, Trav. So I know a lot of the names. So it's a little bit easier for me to help out. And obviously that's why I came on to help Mez because he is newer. So obviously I know a lot of these names. Like I said, Christopher is a long-time PSN guy. I'm pretty sure I played with him back in the Toronto days, and it was me, Sitful, Rickshaw, and all those
I just
guys
can't get
back
over
in
these
those
trophies. I mean,
respects.
multiple PSN Stanley Cups.
Oh,
Of course,
jeez.
now it's not loading, but man, that's
Yeah, Chris got a season 17, 11, 9, 6.
That's a good fair bit.
Guys
So
went on some- guys went on some winning teams.
some
Yeah,
of these
Bakersfield's
ads.
also not bad either. I know Smart, I played with a lot. I know he was an NHL owner or GM for a long time at PSN. I had him take me when the PSN and Xbox did the 16 teams, I remember. I remember I played with him. Bellow Bros was solid. Their defense, I think, is solid too. Shanghai is fine. You know, I don't have a problem with their management. Their management looks solid.
We need
Yeah, I
to
think
see.
that's gonna be a recurring theme. I think is most of these management teams, if not all, are solid players, which is usually the case. But yeah, usually the case. It's just since the merger, there's a lot of guys who just don't know the other half, and it's
Yep.
been kind of interesting to see. The first year was almost exclusively Xbox guys took Xbox guys,
Yep.
PSN guys took
Yep.
PSN guys. Last year we saw a little bit more of a blend. You know, guys. It was even more interesting to see the guys who played both to see where they kind of landed. You know, like myself, I know Doug's longtime NHLers played both consoles. Kind of see where they land. Last year we saw more of like a blend with PSN guys playing with Xbox guys playing with PSN guys. So the more I think you merge, there are a lot of guys who don't feel this way, but I do. The more I think you merge, the better off I think you are.
Thank you, Mr. Lol Chico. This is amazing. I was never gonna find this page,
I'm
but
showing that on my stream. Yeah, I don't know if you were doing that too. Yeah, I was looking at that just to go through one by one.
I
It's
was
easier.
unfamiliar.
You
But
can
man,
click
this is
you can click the teams if you want to open them up, but then I think you have to go back to that.
You do.
You have to go
You do.
back twice. Yeah. So I think we're on Belleville now. I think Belleville. Unless you went over them.
I looked at Bakersfield again. This whole top line, really, I'm not particularly familiar. A few names I've seen out there. Gauthier, I'm definitely a little familiar with his work. Hands on Wood, I've definitely seen out there. So in that first row, that's my main nose.
Belleville's fine. They're solid. Kopi's a very good player too. Good center. Dantas, I think I played a little bit last season. He saw it. Hands on Wood is good. Bridgeport, they're fine in my opinion too. They're good. Blake is my esports D-man for our new team. In Twilight, I played as and against in I believe some other banana league I played in. He's very solid. Bridgeport has a very I think good base. Like I said, and like Trav said, a lot of these teams have a very good base to start. It's just we'll see in about 2 days how all these kind of shake out.
Yeah, so the way that I look at it too is like a lot of guys are like, oh, this guy should manage in the A because he's too good, blah blah. The player's skill doesn't always necessarily mean he's going to put together a good team.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I do feel like M98 is a very, very, very good player who also puts together very, very good teams. I think he's managed all 3 seasons that I've been the AHL commissioner, and I'm almost positive he's made playoffs at all 3 times. He's definitely in the last 2 seasons. So he's a good player who puts together good teams.
Last season he was 16, 7, and 4, 52 points, plus 18. I look at the plus minus because if you're a good plus, I think you're helping your team. If you're a minus, you probably are costing a bit, unless you're on a bad team. And last season, 13, 9, and 5, little bit of a down season for wins, but he had 60 points, so he did definitely kind of.
Oh, and he did make playoffs last year, so I lied, but that's okay. Still, I think he puts together good teams. He's a very competitive player. Not over the top, not, doesn't have a 20-win season, doesn't have 100 points, but good player, good AHL player.
Guys, if you want to quick tip, guys, if you want to look at guys while doing this, if you just right-click on their name and open them up in a new tab, that might help you a bit. Yeah, that's what I've been doing. That's a little bit easier to switch back and forth instead of having to click in and go back. Yeah, I just noticed that. And then obviously Calgary is what I said before. Calgary is, I think they're gonna be a very good team. I think Venji is very good. I played against him in club and in the league before, and he's very good. Muzzin's solid D-man in Nuxie, obviously, like you said, fell through, and he's very good. I think they're gonna. I mean, they should have a very good team if they build it right. I mean, that those 3 alone can be very solid, depending if they all play on a line or if they play on each individual lines. I think
Benji and Nuxie are both. The nice thing they have is they have their center depth taken care of right now between their DP and their 2 managers. So Benji can play the wing too. So in a game 7, I'm sure that will happen. But those are 2 very, very good centers. 2, I'd say fringe NHL, AHL guys. Nuxie to me is an NHL guy who just happened to have a poor season and didn't get a bid. They had a poor season last season.
I think
They didn't get a bid this season.
I think Benji is too. He's solid.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think he's a fringe guy. They actually had Mino was their AGM, and he decided to make the jump up to the end to help Premier Player. Um,
Oh, good
so
on him.
shout out to Mino for that, for taking the step, and I think that's like I have a lot of respect for guys that do that make the jump. So, but yeah, no, they're gonna be a good team. The West is kind of stacked, honestly. So
Yeah,
it's gonna be a
that's what
tough West.
that's we were talking about a bit. I know.
But
We have a
that's
buddy
just that's just
focusing on
management
yeah.
teams. That's
Yeah.
just management teams. That doesn't necessarily mean that the teams are going to be stacked. The management, thumb skill, the West looks pretty good, but that doesn't mean they can build a team.
That's true.
Yeah, so taking a look in this run, the main person I know really is Fulse. But man, that's a tough one. The hardest, I think, one of the hardest to announce for me last season in the playoffs was the Charlotte Checkers versus the Chicago Wolves. Just by the end of it, is there anything left in there?
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, Gyro, I played with before. He's solid. Iman's fine. Floso Clean is a pretty good player. I don't have a problem with Charlotte, and then obviously the Chicago Wolves. Kahuna, Captain. I don't know Captain. I don't know. Maybe it's a different tag or something. I don't know the name. But Kahuna, I know he's solid.
Yep.
Jimmy Ben, very solid. Shady, very good player. Solid. So yeah, they have a decent start as well.
I'm interested to see what Kahuna and them do here.
Same.
Yeah, I like to see the guys that come
I would
up.
like to see that.
Capitan, I'm pretty sure tore up the PSN CHL the last couple years that it existed before the merge. But I love to see guys moving up, and I love to see. I know Kahuna built a couple of good teams in the E the last couple seasons, so
Yeah.
I like to see guys that make that jump, and you're excited to see what they do and how they build too.
I don't know. I only know Sure Shackleton a little bit. I don't know the other tags. I'm not sure if Birexsie
Yeah,
know any of them.
Big Pauler's a fringe NHL AHL guy. We've had our battles based on approving and denying. The very first year of the merger, I think we denied him, and it was a big ordeal. We since have backed off that stance a little bit, and I think this is going to be probably one of the better free contract tandems that you see. Shaq gets either a 1.25 in the N, or he gets 7 mil in the A. So I think it's going to be a good defensive pair. And the interesting thing, now we're 10 teams in or so, the bidding pool looked a little light defensively. So it's interesting to see the amount of AGMs, paid AGMs, free contracts that are playing defense. I think that's what I was saying earlier, yeah.
I see that a lot of guys are going to go heavy defense, and that's why I think when I joined here, that's what I was saying. I think a lot of guys are going to take their defense first, because if you can break the puck out and play good defensively, I think you're going to be successful, especially with full pressure in this game. And like I said, I played defense the first season of 24, and I never played defense in LG, and I went for 5 million EA. No idea how the hell that happened, but it did. And I had 19 wins. So I had a lot of fun playing defense. I also played the game a ton. Like I said, I have over 1,200 hours in the game. I don't know how, but the game felt fine and everything felt fine. So I think, and that's what I've noticed too. A lot of these guys are going D. A lot of names I recognize in the bidding pool that are forwards, like John Kenny, Couture. These guys going from forward to D. I think maybe it's either lighten up their bidding price and also maybe try to get on a team with their buddies, maybe. But also,
no. Couture is a defenseman first before. I know
Price
since
is center, but yeah.
No. Since you've known him, he's probably played forward, but he's a defensive first guy. He came up as a defenseman, so he.
Yeah, I think he did mention that before. Cause I know I had him in Tucson, and he's a very, very good center, and I didn't have a problem playing wing with him. But yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, I think a lot of these guys are switching to kind of lighten their load a bit. But it's only some of them, not all of them, but only some of them that I am noticing.
Yeah, there's a guy we'll get to in a couple teams that he's a very, very good defenseman. He's also a very, very good center. and he chose to go defense this year. And I think it was probably because of the bidding pool. But when we get there, I'll tell you when we're there. It's a couple teams coming up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
I think he was in the chat too. So
a
you know,
team I'm a
shout
little
out to him
familiar
for
with
hanging around.
that I really like that's out here. Simple for Hartford. I also got Mr. Lol Chico 13 and O Clamps. I'm intimately familiar with O Clamps. So
That's who I'm talking about. Is
Okay.
Chico. Chico's a
Okay.
very, very, very good center who decided this year he's also a very good defenseman, and he decided to go D. And I wonder if that's because of the pool and the way that it goes. And,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
no,
I
but
was
that-
actually going to take Mandrew with him. I was thinking about it. I was going to take the AGM. Yeah.
But I mean, you've got
That's-
two great left D there, right there for effectively your total cost is 1.25 million. So what a combo.
yeah, Chico's
Real quick,
a really, really
quickly
good dude too.
Over Coachella. Ocean Primetime, those guys are very solid. Drew, Brax, those guys are really solid. Readers, very solid too. I just jumped over them real quick. But yeah,
Yeah.
Coachella is going to be
Yeah.
solid. And then Colorado, I know them a little bit. Dylan, I don't know. I know Jacker and Zesty. Zesty's solid. They'll be fine. They're going to have a good team. And then Grand Rapids, Latchy, Regula, those guys will build a good team. They're all solid players. I was also thinking about doing management at Latchy, but I decided just to not do it. I actually had like 3 DMs asking for management, and I'm like, nah, I'm just going to go to bidding and pray to God and see what happens.
Yeah, the one thing I'll say about Colorado is there's no defense on their roster right now. And I think starting this bidding with no defense
Mhm.
is, I'll say, cause for concern. It's
Got a lot of cash.
definitely
Got a lot of cash,
yeah,
though.
Well, it's definitely something that you want to if I were managing, I would have focused on trying to re-sign defensemen during this
Yeah.
which I think is always the way it goes with summer season. Like signups are always down, the pool's always a little bit weaker than it usually is, and you know, in this game specifically, I think a lot of guys say, "Why do I play defense? Why do I bother?" Blah blah blah, whatever. But I would have liked to have started my AHL bidding this particular season with a defenseman, if not 2
Yeah.
or 3.
Yeah.
You know, that's it. That's the only thing I'll say about Colorado. But I like Zesty. I think he's a really good player. Slayer's a good player. Moon's a good player. So their offense, I think they'll be fine. But hopefully, I don't know. I can't see. But if they're going heavy on defense, then you know that's a good start. So
Gotta
Yeah, I
pause
mean,
for
they-
just
they
a
get
moment.
somebody
We got
huge, though.
100 bits coming in here from DJ Spartacus. That is absolute Twitch fam out there. If you haven't checked out DJ Spartacus, we often raid him at least once a week. If you love that old school hip hop, old school in your ear, you got we got 5 bits coming in as well from Great Scotty. Appreciate you on the bits. But DJ Spartacus, if you're out there, everybody make sure you hit follow on that man. Got great stuff. Tropical Tuesdays, Throwback Thursdays. Had his Friday stream today. Help you getting towards the weekend. That's certainly what we're doing here as well. I am Mez. This is the Mezcast. We've got Birexsie, we've got Holland, and we've got LG AHL Commissioner, Vintage Trav.
and I gotta
Appreciate-
say, dude, that's super impressive because that's kind of like, you know, you listen to the radio, like sports radio. It's like we gotta pause for station identification, and then you go off, you listen, you hear all like that was great. That was really, really good. I'll give you credit. That was great.
Appreciate it.
I agree with that. It's great.
Scotty out there giving you a big love for your PC there, Rexy.
I appreciate it, Scotty.
All right, we've taken a look at this group. We'll go ahead and slide on down. The Henderson Silver Knights, the Hershey Bears, the Iowa Wild, Matty Ice. Hopefully not a 28-3, but hey, Newfie Wall. I was wondering where he was at. He's a GM for the Henderson Silver Knights. Congrats to Newfie Wall. Played with him before.
Newfies. 2 Newfies on the same team at least. Matty Ice and Newfie Wall, 2 Newfies on the same team. But
Okay.
Matty Ice, good player. Like Matty Ice. Oh my lettuce, another good defenseman. Having a goalie as a management, bold strategy.
I've heard that said before.
But if he's willing and he's ready to, you know, if he's done his due diligence, then that's, you know, goaltending is usually a place that you don't have your free contracts
Right.
because it's not somewhere you're gonna spend crazy anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
But if he's done his you know, research and then that could pay off. I mean, I've seen it work before. I think Coda took management a couple years ago. Coda
Chota. Yeah,
Chota.
that's the one.
Who won a cup with me in season 21 in Hartford. Unbelievable goaltender. Don't bid him up. But
I think he had
he
a
was management, I think, last season or the season before, and he did, that worked out. So
he's got a
not usually
1.25 mil
see.
bid, but like you said, the highest goaltender right now is 2.25. So are you getting the value with your free contract when you might find, is there a $5 million winger you might find, or defenseman, like you said, this being such one where this might be the season where you're like, gotta have those defensemen.
For sure. No, for sure. And I think that's just a point. I'm not saying it's a good point or a bad point, but it's a point that, typically you don't see free contracts and in the goaltender. But again, if, someone's, willing to put in the work, it just means they're going to work a little bit harder to get a good, contract and a couple more 750Ks on either the defensive or offensive side, and to make up for that. And, it's we'll see. We'll see.
But it sounds like you're more on the fine 750 with my wingers, with my scorers. Find somebody undervalued because the defense is so thin.
I personally would pay for defense right now, and I think forward is not necessarily deep but it's deeper than defense. I think you can, with a good line, if you, I don't want to give away strategies, but if you grind the game, if you play the game, you put a line together, you let them play together, you let them not just warm up and play their games, but they're playing outside of the league and they're gaining confidence and they're gaining chemistry. Those guys are going to score. They're gonna put up goals, and I think that defense is probably where you should spend right now in the AHL. But
that's what I was saying. Yeah, that's what I said when I came in here. Is that I think defense is going to be defense heavy if you are smart. You get very good defensemen, even if you kind of find some sleepers. If you solidify your defense, the offense will come, just because it's in this game especially. And I think that if you have a good defense with, like, say, a pretty solid goalie, and then your forwards can at least hold their own, that's fine. And then I was saying before as well, earlier in the show, that if you have a team that has guys that are grinding the game and play the game, right, that you will probably go far in the long run. I would give the example, when I took management last year, was Gonzo and Ghost. Trav, you probably remember that. We had Calgary, and we had a good, start. We had a very good team, I thought. Gonzo, me, and Ghost at center was probably the best center depth in the A at that time. I mean, that's a huge, center. And I was thinking, okay, we're good. And then by like week 3 or 4, going on 5, it's like, nobody wants to play the game. And it's dead. It's summer. And it's like, okay. And I'm going to get bounced around 1 because I'm the only one online. And of course, the biggest thing I've been told is that, people grab me only because I'm the one who plays a ton of games. And that was, I'm pretty sure that's what Shorey and Clint said last season. They're like, well, we're getting you because we need people to play games. Like, all right, well, I mean, I will try my best, but I can't force people to play games. I'm always on, but not everybody else is going to be on. And I think that owners who get guys who play a lot can definitely go for further. And I think that, you have the guys who are playing in, August, September towards the playoff run. I think that they're going to be the ones who are going to end up winning. And that's usually how it goes.
Summer season's tough. There's no way around it. Summer season's tough. You've got, and it's not even just, people with vacations and doing things with families or whatever, but you also have other games coming out. And that's you have the show which comes out. You have college football is about to come out for the first time in 10 years, something like that. So Madden comes out. So you're gonna have to compete with that too. So it's like that's the thing. And then also you deal with people getting burnt out. You play the game now for
that was the other piece I was gonna bring in, is you're tired and you want to be ready for when 25 comes out. So it's like, do you take the time away so that it's fresh again in that mind? What's going on, Vatty? Good to see you out there.
Fellow Commisioner.
The time off thing, I think, if I lose, like, say, round 1 of the playoffs in summer season, I might play the World Cup, depending if there's one or whatever, the World Juniors, I might play that, and then after that, I might just play, like, club and just chill, because at that point, probably most people, that's the funny part, is around that time, everybody wants to, get that cup push in, but then at the same time, usually the beta comes out for 25, and everybody plays their games and goes right to the beta.
That's right. Yeah.
In
right
my
after
off
that.
time, I'm running back to my
Yeah.
PC. I'm playing Escape from Tarkov, and yeah, taking some time away as well.
Yeah, that's usually how it is. In the game, also, if the game doesn't suck, that's also different. I mean, the game is not the best right now. I mean, I think a lot of people are burnt out with the X factors, they're burnt out with the pressure system, they're burnt out with a lot of things in the game, and I think that's also a thing that people kind of deal with. Like, I know, like, back in, like, NHL 2021, when there was no X factors, the game was still alive in the summer because a lot of people kind of didn't, there wasn't a lot of BS that was happening. But now that there's X factors and things like that, people are kind of just like sick of this. And if you have the same thing happening week in and week out, I can see how you're just like, I'm done with this after LG. I'm done. I'm not playing.
Absolutely. It can be a bit of a grind. So we've scrolled down here a little bit. The team I'm most familiar at this level, Wile Coyote. I think I remember him kicking my ass a time or two. But Jet Ups and Chip Bandit. Chip Bandit, if I remember correctly, last season went NHL drafted. I have seen this man get absolutely hot and carry a team. So in the AHL for 750, I'm really, really excited to see what Chip Bandit's going to do here. So I think he's going to provide a ton of value for the Moose.
And
But-
it looks like he's on that 2 season, so it looks like he's coming off of got drafted last year. That looks like see the two seasons that are remaining.
Yeah.
That means he's coming off of a draft contract. So
Thank you.
second year
Thank
of
you.
a draft contract, and that's
Yeah, because I'd remember he'd gotten drafted pretty high. I mean, it was definitely top 100 at some time at the NHL level.
somewhere in his news. I'm sure you'll be able to see.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Mikey Cho sounds familiar as well. Waldo, that's not the Waldo, right? That I'm thinking of, is it?
I mean, it would be way too easy if you could find Waldo that easily.
Petey's a good defenseman too. He'll be really nice in this this economy for the AHL defensive standpoint. Tito on Lehigh will be a really good pickup for them at center. Laval's got some work to do. They lost the manager about 5 hours before bidding.
Ooh.
And that's what I said in my chat earlier. I go, what the
So-
hell happened?
I can't talk about it.
Hey, understandable.
No, I'm just
Understandable.
saying
You got
that,
media here to do that. We got you covered there.
Yeah, I was
they-
saying that. I was just saying, like, what the hell happened? Like, how do you lose somebody to 5 hours for that stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got some work to do. They've got one manager in place right now. I think they're the last team. Ali on Hershey didn't have one all through NHL bidding. Got Gronk and Nuts after bidding. Iowa Peck, obviously we already talked about him. Got through NHL bidding. It's a really good deal, $750K to be their AGM. So I think those are a couple of teams Iowa would be a team I keep my eyes on. Lehigh, keep my eyes on.
Okay.
Manitoba, definitely watch for them with, like I said, PD. Really good defenseman for this AHL. So
I'm not familiar with Goon the Bearded's play, but I was clicking around earlier, and this has to be shown. Not that photo right there. That photo right there needs. That is a beard, Goon.
That
You are beyond metal drummer,
familiar
metal
with
guitar
Goon.
player. You are beyond wizard category at that point.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
That's funny.
Oh.
That's funny.
The things we
That's
find
real
clicking around.
growth.
So let's
Some real growth.
Yeah.
we'll continue to scroll our way down on here. Next group to look at: the Milwaukee Admirals, the Ontario Reign, and the Providence Bruins.
In Milwaukee, they're fine. Jason's a very solid player. Crowder, I'm not familiar with. Deeks, I know you mentioned earlier. He's solid. Don't know the defenders at all.
Deeks is a good player. Awesome's a pretty good defenseman. He was on the Wranglers last year. Chowder's a very good player. Good AGM there. Good paid AGM there. There'll be another team. I mean, they're in the West, so the West is gonna be tough. So
Is there a reason why the West is so tough?
it's just the way that the way that the NHL swaps and the way the NHL manager is selected, there's and again, this is based on the management team. This isn't, not saying they can put together a team, but just on skill. The West happens to be there happens to be a lot of talent spread throughout the West.
Okay.
Based on success, numbers, records, points, not necessarily building teams, but just the way it goes.
Wizia, we got a double mic from him. You certain? Is anybody else having the double mic? Because all the settings are the same.
So unless you have both of the streams open, because I'm still live too. Unless you have both of them.
I do, but I have the Twitch stream muted, so I don't think it's coming from me.
I was gonna say, I think I have everything muted.
I don't know if it would come from. I don't know how it would come from me. I know somebody said an echo in my chat, but I think it's because it's just coming through my headset to the microphones. I just turned out my own audio.
I don't hear it on my end.
I was gonna say, I definitely don't hear it as well. And if I throw it on, then everybody will be thrown off because then we'll just get thrown in the loop. B-Rube X9, appreciate the follow. Glad to have you hanging in here. Galactica said it's weird, but not double. Okay, well, I'll listen to it back on playback, see if we can figure it out next time.
Yeah,
I'm getting an actual mic this week. I'm getting an actual Elgato mic this week. Crofto hooked me up and I bought one, so
Nice.
it allows me to get all the settings and everything unlocked. I already have the Elgato. I'm not using the Elgato right now though, because I have to figure all that out. So I'm just doing my screen capture on my end, but through Streamlabs, but it still works. But yeah, I'm getting an actual mic. I'm just using my damn Turtle Beach right now, plugged into the computer.
For sure. Well, holler if I can help. Definitely happy to help if I can.
Yeah. So I think we're
and jumping that mic difference is so huge. Like when I first started, I had this little Hyper 8, tiny little thing, and now I've got the Shure SM7B, and I was even at a full-on LAN tournament this last weekend, and I was able to get the settings dialed in enough that it's not overwhelming, it's not overflowing, and yeah, when you've got both the mixer and the real mic, they can just pop.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting. Mike, that Crofto told me about. It allows me to. It gives the software that opens up all the different channels, so I can mute my Discord and mute my things and all that stuff.
Yep,
Yeah.
I've got 4 things on sliders right now. I've got Discord on a separate one from the rest of the games.
For that. Yeah, I'm excited for that. Thank God.
It's so much fun, and I end up playing so much time with just my sampler, even just the 4 that I do. Just hey, send somebody to the sin bin.
I think we're on Ontario now, and I think their defense is actually pretty solid. 3D men, I mean, that's actually a really good start, to be honest. Especially Baker and Howler, they're both really good players.
Baker's pretty solid.
Yeah, that's a great start.
Lot.
The 3D man, especially for those contracts, being able to then pick up basically, I mean, you could grab maybe like a game 7, maybe right D, maybe depending on Howler, if you don't want Howler. Depending how he is, but yeah, that definitely sounds like good basic. That's kind of what you would want. You would kind of want 3 forwards, 3D maybe. I mean, maybe 4D men and 2 forwards, depending how you want it. But that's a great setup to have 3 and 3 to start.
Yeah, I noticed Rochester was set up similarly, where they've got a real deep lineup. They've got 3 defenders, and yet, despite all that they have, they've only got $7.25 million spent. So I'll be interested to see if they're one of our bidders at, $6 to $8 million for some of these top end players.
So one thing about Ontario, this is one of the management groups that I would like to personally keep an eye on for this season, because they're one of the teams that came up from the E.
Okay.
Dahmer and Snipe, who have had success over, I think, the last 2 seasons they've managed in the E. They've had success. And Snipe, I think, I'm not mistaken, won 20-something games last year as a defenseman. So again, in this climate, in this bidding, I would have maybe considered going back. And maybe he prefers right wing, and that's obviously fine. Doesn't really matter to me. But he went 21-5-2 last year in the E as a right defenseman. Might have been something I would have looked at, and having 4 defensemen to go at starting your bidding, that's a hell of a place to be. So. But that's definitely, Ontario is one of the teams I have circled that I really want to watch intently this year, along with Kahuna, just to see how the guys who moved up and how they're gonna fare this year.
Is it safe to say that I'm so sorry is Canadian? Is that just is that too easy a generalization?
I feel like I'm so sorry, and two Frenchie for you that might be a safe bet.
That's
Two
a safe
Canadians.
bet.
Those are two PSN guys. Frenchie scores. Frenchie's a guy that I played against a bunch.
And
He
that's
scores.
2 Frenchie for you, not Frenchie
Wait,
17.
Two Frenchie for you. Two
Okay.
Frenchie for you. Guys, he scores goals. That's what he does. He scores. He puts up points. He scores. He's got a.
They don't ask
on
how,
PSN
they ask how many.
PSN season 22, 73 goals. Season 23, 56 goals. Like, there are guys that don't get points. They don't get that many points, and he's
Right.
putting up,
Right.
that many goals. That guy scores. He's a very good right winger. I think they're going to be in a good place. Story's another really good. He's a good left winger. Really, that's probably going to be their top line. That's a good start for them. Again, no defenseman though, but a good start offensively for them though.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think I was looking at the chat. I think I may have fixed my mic. If I sound any better, let me know. I think my Discord, when I was plugging in my Elgato earlier trying to figure it out, I think it changed all my Discord settings because I plugged in the USB. So it detected the USB.
Those are so much fun. Those are so much fun.
No,
I
I
truly
assume I
hate
sound
VoIP
better now 'cause
equipment.
I was just testing that. Yeah, I think I sound better because I think it was coming through some other mic. I don't know what it was coming through, but it should be coming through my headset now. I don't know if I sound any
Maybe
better or
with your
worse.
camera mic.
I
Your
don't-
camera mic.
I don't even have a camera on this computer actually.
That's
Uh,
they say still iffy. So
I mean, it might sound like
It is
I'm
what it
coming through
is.
I'm talking through a headset. I'm not talking.
You know what?
through
You know what it is? It's the Mezcast radio voice. It's the Trav radio voice, and then they gotta deal with Holland. That's what it is. That's what it really is.
that's right, folks. It's Holland, not Holland Oats.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out actually.
No,
Rochester's
it's
Rochester's
not through
another
my
team.
Discord because then Wizia, you'd hear the same thing for Birexsie and for Vintage Trav as well. So unless it's
Yeah, that's true.
all of us.
Yeah, it's those face for radios. You know what I mean? That's what it is, Mez. It's those face for radios. You know what I mean?
Pucky, I will definitely be calling games again this season. So we got AHL bidding tonight. Next Saturday, I'll be covering the NCAA draft. Unfortunately, unable to get ECHL or CHL bidding night. Sorry, everybody. I got a couple of work things going on preventing all that. But immediately following the draft, the following day will be opening night next Sunday. Yes, I'll be announcing NCAA, CHL, ECHL, AHL, and NHL. I want to get all of it in there. Get it in the quad box, just like we closed out the season. I'm open to open with all of the champion-winning teams. It just seems right. I really like that about the NFL, opening the season with the Super Bowl champ. And appreciate the love, Pucky. But yeah, we will definitely be here. I think I may have an issue with a double up in OBS. I am Chilson, so maybe here we'll drop one, see if it gets any better.
They're always fun.
Yeah.
So I think we're on Rockford now. Might as well almost get these done. Go back to bidding then. So
Yep.
Rockford, I mean, I don't
We
know
skipped
a
the
ton of them.
Americans.
There's French 17. There we go.
You skip the Americans.
I thought we talked about it. I thought we mentioned that they have a decent setup.
Briefly when
Oh,
we
yeah,
were on
yeah,
the above
Birexsie,
line,
yeah,
that they've
yeah,
got
yeah,
3
yeah.
left defensemen. They're locked in there, so
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I think they're
Pretty
fine. Yeah,
good.
That's good. Yeah.
Right. Yager's a good defenseman. Mike's a pretty good defenseman. Jonesy's a gamer. He just balls. Kimmy's another really good player coming into some success last season.
Yeah.
So, and then Sleets is another good paid AGM at the 750K. So
Yeah, that's good.
I'm gonna let y'all
That'd be a
pop
good team to
Rockford and
watch.
San Diego. I'll be right back grabbing some water real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, I tried to screw
I
it
need
up.
to just leave us like that.
At least I didn't
Yeah.
scroll up and break it completely. Hey, we're coming up on 3 hours here. Definitely need that. Got to get the top up of water here. We are
Hydrate.
G-
So
exactly.
Rockford to me is going to be interesting. Lackey's a good player, a good manager. Frenchie's another guy who can score. You can put the puck in the net. He's a good player. But the amount of players they have currently 5 forwards, 3 defensemen, and a goalie all ready to go. Not a ton of money spent on those players.
Yeah.
Kane,
Yeah.
Kane's
Yeah,
a
they
good right
have a
wing.
lot of players already.
Yeah, a lot of players already rostered. Not a ton of places to fill. So probably some money to spend there. Wouldn't be, shocked to see one of the top 5 bids going there. I know Lackey likes LG. Barbs loves LG, so I think that Barb's another really good defenseman for this
Justin's
for this
too.
for this AHL. So I think they're probably gonna be another good team to watch right there.
Yeah, and like I said, Justin's a good goalie too. I played against him and with him a couple times just in club or whatever. He's solid. So I mean,
Yeah.
they have a good start. That's honestly huge. I mean, you have 22 mil. I mean, if they grab like a really good expensive D man and then maybe 2 or 3 expensive forwards, they could actually have a very solid team depending who they grab.
Yeah,
now
when you look at
grab guys huge, it might not go well if they grab guys that are expensive that suck.
when you look at their returning players, their current contracts, those are third, second line numbers, so they could really go get a legitimate first line all the way through 5 guys. They probably have their number 1 goalie in Justin, but go out, get 5 guys, and probably do some damage there.
For sure, yeah. And then like San Diego, I mean, they have only 3 forwards. Saucy was on my team in Tucson. He's fine. Binks, I think, is good as well. Real one, I'm not really familiar with. But I mean, they have a lot of cash to spend, so they can kind of go haywire if they really wanted to and kind of go out.
Well, they got to build everything, right? So they've got 3 forwards. They have only the 750K. They didn't take any re-signs. They're just they're rebuilding everything. They're rebuilding everything. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, Saucy is Labasse from the Crunch days way back on PSN.
I will let you know.
He is season 21, season 22, Labasse 24. So they've got some work to do. They're like Laval. They've got some work to do.
Not that Labatt 69.
Nope, that Labasse 24. But they've got some work to do. So they'll be interesting to see, and it'll be. I mean, that's a hell of a way to build a team when you can do whatever you want. That's one way to look at it. You don't have any returning players, and get whoever you want. No DPs.
Yeah.
And maybe they do. I don't know. I don't know if they have DPs that they just sent down and they'll call them up after a couple of weeks. I don't know if that's the case, but
Yeah, it looks like it was the double audio. Sorry, everybody. Failure on my part.
it only took 3 hours for them to tell you, though. So that means that they're really here listening. They're really trying to,
Absolutely. You know what? Everybody's getting 2 minutes. I'm bringing in the officials. Where's that other one? Where's my 2 minute? There we go. We'll throw them both up here. We got the black and whites as well as the 2 minutes. Everybody's going away. Like you said, only took us 3 hours. Porter will check defense here soon. We're still working all the way through our teams. I'm assuming we're ready for San Jose Barracuda.
My old team, yeah, I was traded to.
Yeah,
They okay. They have it. Bobreed and Rygen for D are definitely a good start. I don't know. I'm not familiar with Link. Carter, solid. Terrace is good. Comrade, I'm not familiar with either, but I know Bobreed and Rygen are very good. Just played against Rygen the other night. He's very solid. So they have a good base too. Kind of build how they want on defense too, especially going with them being GMs.
Yeah, this is the Phantoms from last year.
Okay.
Okay.
So the Phantoms from last year, it's I could be wrong, but I think it's the same exact management team returning, at least the free contracts. And if I'm not mistaken, which I can be, I'm pretty sure they lost in the finals last year. They went to the Calder finals and they lost. But Rye always puts a good team together. He's a very, very good team builder. I think Link's a very good AHL player. Bullbreed's another very good defenseman. Like I said, you can't go wrong with defense in this. They get 18 wins last season, 22 the season before that for the Phantoms. So very good management staff as far as skill goes, and
Damn,
like I
Link
said,
is pretty good,
Rye can build teams. So
yeah, Link 24-2 in season 46. A little bit of down year last year, 13-9-3, 51 points. Had 68 this season before. Puts up points in the playoffs though. Very solid though. Definitely.
yeah, it's gonna be a really good. And again, notice where they are, out west,
Yep.
and a good. They have 7 players to start their season. So I think they'll be all right. Like I said, Rye builds very good teams, and I think they'll be right there. They'll be a playoff team for sure, in my opinion, and probably be right there, final 8, final 4, somewhere in there.
I got some love to give out there. Benzie McNasty, appreciate the follow. Hail to Hockey and Kopitar XX as well. Uh-oh. All right, we almost created. Is this who I think it is? No, this can't be him. Clamps, tell me, is this the man? Is this the Rhyme? I think it is. Is Reimer playing goalie, or is this a different Rhyme? I'm confused because I know this is a team I definitely know more of, the Texas Stars for sure. Sorry, I'm peeking ahead just a little bit.
You're thinking of Rhyme. I don't think that's
You're
him.
good.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking it was Rhyme, but I guess that's Rhyme 86, yeah. Oh, he's on the Rangers. In the NHL, Clamps?
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
He's
that
very
would make
good.
sense.
That would make sense. He's an NHL player for sure. I hadn't officially seen where he's gone, so.
No, you're right. Yeah, Springfield. I only know Freak. I don't know Rizzy or Roaring Viper. They sound familiar, or Sauce. They sound familiar, but I don't know them. I know Freak is very solid. The other ones I'm not familiar with.
Yeah, Viper's fringe. He was a pretty damn good goalie actually, but he played in the end last season or 2 seasons ago, and he played in the A this past season. But he's normally a goalie, but he's still a pretty. Like I said, I'm pretty sure he played in the end 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, he played. 12-12, 29 points last season at center. And then
There's some guys who just get the game,
Yeah.
Some guys who just get the game.
Yep.
And that's just the way. That's just the
Yeah.
way that it goes.
Absolutely. They can play whatever they want, switch in and out, and they're just
Exactly.
an
And I
elite
think-
player.
I think Freak is kind of the same way. I'm pretty sure he can play pick a position and he can play it. But not a lot to start with. Let me see. I'm looking at.
I'm gonna
Freak's
say I'm
stats as well.
looking at
Yeah.
Syracuse
No,
real
he's
cheap out the gate as
mainly a
well.
forward. Mainly a forward, but yeah, not a lot to start with. But I think they have a talented core. I don't know how they are as team builders, but a talented core, at least thumb wise. So
Yes. Yeah, Syracuse. I only know Dylan. That's it.
yeah, Eagles fans. He probably would have been one of the higher paid defensemen in this bidding. I think that's a good start. Again, not a ton, but a good start. They have another 3 talented managers, so I think Eagles fans a big pickup for them. So that's
Looks like he was
and
a
again
PSN.
a defenseman too.
Yeah, he was a big PSN AHL
Yeah.
guy. Looks like 48-10-3, and then 40-16-2 in the PSNC. I mean, I'll give that for what it's worth. I mean, the NHL, he was 11-10-1, 16 points, and then last season he was 11-10-3, 31 points at forward. So I mean, yeah, looks like he used defensive D-man the last 3 games. That's in a power forward, so that's interesting. But
No, he's a good defender. He's like I said, that'll be a good team. Just not a lot to start with, but be a good team to watch for sure.
Texas.
Texas is always a team you got to circle. Aussie always puts together good teams. He's had Crow the last 2 seasons. We didn't allow Crow to come back. He picked up Tuckett Teal, another outstanding defenseman.
Tuck, it's so good.
They got Dupe to come back. They got Dupe as their paid AGM. I think they're going to be. They've got a ton returning.
The guy I
They
look
took
at
advantage of a
as
bunch of
the new
re-signs.
guy, Curly 11C. He's made a recent transition from center to right wing, and I think it's unlocked him. So
He's a plus 22 last season with Texas. He re-signed, or I know he's a DP, right? So he was there last year. I think they're going to be a good team. Giroux's a stud, former
Yep.
staff guy.
Yep. Jerry's a
Stud.
good defender.
Jerry's a very good defender. Tuckateel's a very good defender. Reimer's
Yep.
a good goalie. Aussie builds good teams. I mean, this is just gonna it's gonna be a good team. You know, it's another team I'd say probably be I think they have some troubles in the playoffs, but I think they'll be a playoff team, and I think they'll be one of the front runners for the season.
I have no idea who any of these guys are.
Got
Toronto.
the Toronto.
I don't know much about. I know Gab is I know Gab was an NHLer last year. I don't know a ton about these guys. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. Toronto, I don't know a ton about them.
I don't either.
Again, goalie with a free contract, but I don't know a ton. 21 wins a few years ago. 21 wins in season 40
Yeah.
in the end.
Yeah.
I don't know a ton, truthfully.
I've seen Elbow BB, but not
Yeah,
extensive knowledge.
DP. Yeah, it looks like if he's at 1.5, he's probably a top. He might be the number one pick. Up 21st overall. So he was a 1.5 seems high for this 21st overall pick, but
What's the first
LG better check those numbers. But
Dude,
truthfully-
welcome on in. Glad to have you here.
You saw if I go there again for the third season in a row? Swear to God.
Toronto?
Meep.
Oh, Tucson. Yeah,
Yeah, Meep.
yeah. New management staff. They had the same staff for a couple of seasons, right? Those same guys.
Yeah, I know DeBrincat. I know he's out. Is that who I'm thinking it is? Is that? Never mind. No, it's not. I was thinking DeBrincat was I forgot who it is. It was like the pair that took I forgot who it was. It's like the duo pair that took the NHL management. But I don't know if that's the same one. I don't think it is. I'm trying to think of who it was. I forgot who that was. I can't think of the names. Sully, I know he's solid.
Yeah, I'd say the two free contracts are solid. And then I think that Sprangy is a pretty good pickup. Is a very good pickup for again, defenseman 750K. Probably would have gone for a little bit significantly more than that in the bidding. So I think that was one of those situations where the 750K AGM pays off here.
Nice.
And I think they'll that's a good start for them to have him locked up as probably a top D pair for them.
Is there any prevention rules on like you can only be a 750 AGM once, and then unless it's particularly a bad season?
No, you can't resign. You can't resign your paid AGM. So even if whoever comes in, you can't resign them. They'll the paid AGM will have to go back into bidding.
Okay.
And to get the 750K, you obviously can't be on the no management list. You can't be coming off a ban. You can't. There are some stipulations. It's not just like anyone can get it. There are some stipulations, but you definitely can't resign your paid AGM. So.
Cool. Yeah, I just figured I'd ask. I mean, there are lots of little nuances. Like you said, this is a competitive league. This is not.
Correct.
This is not pickup ball.
Yeah, this isn't a bring your own team.
This is not drop in. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I was just say. Now I just thought of this. Now, what if your 750K GM quits? Can anybody on the team take that contract then, or no? How does that work?
Nope. You're not even required to take it. So we look at Utica, who doesn't have 750K paid AGM. So you're not. It's not you don't have to take it. It's just a luxury that we were just offering to people this year, but you don't have to take it. And if your 750K guy decides he doesn't want to do it, you're locked in. So AHL protected players, AGMs are locked in. They're locked in their contract. They can't be called up. They can't be traded. Doesn't always work out. Sometimes egos and or personalities just don't match, and that doesn't always work out. And guys quit. If your paid AGM quits, you cannot. It's not like your free contract where you can just slide a guy into that. You lose it. You lose the right. It's a pre-bidding, post NHL, pre-AHL bidding perk.
I think that's the way it should be. Yeah, I love that. Don't because I mean, really, the person who's gonna have a multi-season ban really has to deal with the consequences. So,
correct.
You just move on. You replace. I'm assuming with the TC, or I mean that whatever slot that is.
Anybody can then take the paid AGM. You just don't get the 750K luxury.
Got
Yeah,
it.
So if I go to, it's like, let's say I go to Utica, and say I'm like 3 mil, I could take that paid AGM, but I'd be a 3 mil.
You'd be at your 3 mil. Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
It had to be set in place. Correct. Yeah. You had to be set in place.
Now,
prior
is that the
to bidding.
same for if somebody quits though? Now, if your 70K quits, can I take that over even if I am 3 or no?
You stay at your 3. You stay at 3.
No, I'm saying like, could I take the paid AGM position though? Even if
you can take it, but you'll be your 3 mil. You won't be.
No, yeah, that's
you won't-
fine.
you
Yeah, I
won't
was
go
just
down.
curious,
Yeah.
like if somebody like say like somebody quits and somebody wants to step up and take management. Like obviously, like, if I'm on a team and the AGM paid AGM quits and there's nobody else who's experienced and I have experience, I would take that over. I would obviously understand I'm not going to go down to 750. I was just curious if somebody could slide in or if you lose that paid AGM privilege altogether.
Yeah,
I
you
think
can
it
still
always
have
makes
paid
sense to have
AGM.
3, no matter
Correct,
what,
yeah.
because
Yeah,
then
that's
what
fine.
happens if owner and GM quit over some BS or heaven forbid something worse, double tagging, knowledge of anything that, would warrant removal for multiple people. Like it's nice to have your line of succession set up so the team just doesn't crumble
sure.
1 week into the season because the owner was a terrible person and roped the GM into following them.
You always want to have 3 anyway, just in case, 2 people are busy one
Yeah,
night. and
life
so
happens.
You gotta set up lines and
Yep.
you gotta set up
Yep.
servers and whatever. So it's always good to have 3. Obviously, the more options, the better. So
Well, a
And
couple
last
teams
year,
to
I
get
agree
through
with that,
here.
too.
I do have to wrap up here in about 10 minutes or so. I apologize, everybody, but I do have to get moving here. So
I'll still be live if anybody cares.
Tucson Roadrunners, yeah, we'll get everybody rolled on over there.
So I think we're on Wilkes-Barre, right? Last one, Wilkes-Barre.
yeah, last one's Wilkes-Barre.
Yep.
Okay.
Wizza, who's in our chat, I believe, right? And
Uh-huh.
then Sazi, I know Salad Mayers is good. Netminder, I'm not familiar with, but I would assume that the contract is perfectly fine for him. Don't know Roussel, the DP, either. I don't know if you know any knowledge of him, Mez.
I don't.
Well,
Click
this is
in.
another
Let's
guy coming
just.
out from the E, right? So he's another guy that I'd like to watch because I know he's coming up and he's
He's coming
taking
from
a-
the sea.
taking a jump. Oh, he came up all the way from the sea.
Russell is coming from the sea with the Saginaw
Oh,
Spirit, a 17-6-1, had 52 points in. All right, so almost two
It's a DP.
goals a game. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a DP.
83 points.
so-
Damn, that's huge. That's a good. He could light it up. Yeah, see that's what I was talking about earlier. Like if I'm like that's kind of like if I'm him, like you come in, maybe you're not good enough for the N, but you come down to the A, you kind of maybe make your mark in the A. That could be a huge wing for them, especially if he could be like a top winger for them for that contract, especially as a DP.
Yeah.
That's huge, especially in LG.
So the nice thing about the DP, he was drafted 10th overall in the draft here by the Penguins. Obviously got sent down here, and the nice thing is you have the flexibility. So you can play him for 2. I think it's two weeks, and if he doesn't work out, you can always send him down. Not a terrible contract if he works out. It looks like he showed out last season.
Yeah, Wizia
Yeah.
says Nietminder was an AHL All-Star. So looks like they've got a pretty good setup.
Yeah, that's a 7. That's a
Damn,
that's a
Wilkes-Barre
goalie
Scranton.
manager.
Yeah.
Goalie manager, but it's a 750K. It's the paid AGM. He had 20 wins last year, so no issue with that. Like, I mean, I don't have any issues with anybody who wants to take management, but no issues there. Mayers is a solidified right winger, so I think that's a good partner there, and I think there'll be a team to watch. Like I said, any guys that make the jump are guys that I like to watch intently and just see what they can bring.
See how they handle it at that new level of competition. Absolutely. Makes a ton of sense. We do have a new top tier bid, ladies and gentlemen. You might see it there on screen. Mimic, $8.5 million. I gotta say, that one,
Made.
that
Mimic
much money,
getting
it sounds
paid.
like it hurts. Oh,
Mimic getting paid. Mimic's a really good player, so it's I'm not saying shocking. He's a really good player, so I wouldn't be surprised if Clutch grows.
Big Gav NHL, appreciate the follow.
He had 22 points last season. I'm just curious, did he play defense or was he a forward? I think he was. No, hey, let me see.
Rex still sitting on one bid at 750.
Yep.
One more than me.
I see Canada down here also at that 750 mark. He's a guy coming up from the
Do you think you're
CHL.
gonna
I'm
get one,
really,
Trav?
I think he's going to have an interesting season in the AHL. I think he's going to prove that he's a badass. So I can't wait to see what he's going to do. I had a couple other here from my list. Let me review some people I've seen. Tech 112 is currently, I think, going for a minimum bid. Last I looked, Interplanetary, a great defensive player. I've seen a lot of him in my time. So he's somebody I've seen. I don't even think has a bid yet last I saw. Curly, we obviously already saw where he went. Who else here in blue? Gallagher currently has the bid on him open right now. Sands. Spooky Gabagool has a multi-million-dollar bid. Definitely one from my secret list here. And I think that's everybody, because everybody else either ended up like NHL or is not playing.
Want to look at the expiring real quick?
The expiring. Yep. That's what I've got
Yeah,
here right
I
now
just
is
did the
expiring.
oldest one, yeah. Okay, yeah, I didn't know if you lead. Yeah, so a lot of these guys, like I said earlier, I think a lot of these guys are going to be probably these or maybe 1 mil. Like I said, you're probably, depending on how late I stay up, we'll see. Maybe that'll change in the next couple hours. But like I said, you usually get that middle of the night randomly getting bid on again or upped. So I mean, you got 4 hours of this. So you think it's around 4 in the morning. So you'll probably see some guys getting there around 2, 3 in the morning. You know, I'm sure there's owners that get up at 2, 3 in the morning for work, and they'll probably check it, bid, go back to work or something. So usually how it is.
Yeah.
I do like Achilles.
seen it a
price,
few
though,
times.
1.5. I love Achilles. I played a little bit of esports with him. Played a lot of club with him. He's buddies with Crofto and me and Malarkey and everybody. He's a very good winger. So him at 1.5 is very good. I don't really know too many of these other names. Ben P.
I was gonna say there's a blend. LaRue 97.
Twin Pepsi's very solid for that 750.
I've said Canada's name a couple times. There's a couple in here. Schmitty. That's our most
tough.
recent expiring. Let's take a look. Take a look at
It's so
most
tough.
recent
You really
bids.
don't want to call people out, man. That's like I'm looking at some of these names. And
I
I'm
know.
Like,
I know. Like you want to give them the love, but at the same time you want to help
you
out
don't.
that manager
Yeah,
who's
you
like, I
don't.
know
I
the
would say-
guy.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Truthfully, I don't know who has bids. I don't know who does and who doesn't have bids.
Right,
But I'm
right.
looking at some of these, I will say specifically defensemen, and I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
all right, well,
So this is our most
especially in this-
recent set of
in this
bids
market.
coming in here. So a couple jumps, especially on some left defensemen. Isbot gets in their minimum bid. Jug up to 3.2 million. Junior Hawk, $1.5 million. June 1.75. Circus 1 million. So yeah, we're starting to see some names trickling here. I see the new bid for Gallagher there at 2 million.
Hey, Malarkey, no bid. What the heck?
Yeah, that's
Surge up to
He'll probably get one. If
3.75.
he does not get one, I would be shocked. That would be a shock.
If he doesn't get one, he should definitely consider taking that paid AGM spot in the E, because he'll get way overpaid.
He's too late to take one in the A, right?
Oh yeah, I know. You can't now. Now that bidding started, you can't now.
I mean, I don't know.
But
Larks is still.
like I said,
I mean, he had a bad down year. That's all. He had a down
I'm
season
not-
last season. That's it.
I know if you notice, I haven't said a single name, and I don't want to. I'm not going to. But
That's fair.
Yeah.
there are definitely some underpaid guys right now, and that's good for whoever has those guys.
Hey, respect that. We got to do it a little bit here on the media side. We got to stir some things
I
along.
won't.
But
I can't.
respect.
You can,
Hey,
but
respect the
I'm
commission.
I'm not going to, because I got to be in the manager's chat with all those guys. So if I say anyone's name and then say whatever manager has them, and then they get put up, then forget it. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude, management chat is always some of the wildest, weirdest stuff that's out there. Like, I'm sad when I don't get access to management chats, just because I just want to see what's happening behind the drama. I want to be around for the trades. It's a second general chat. in most
You
cases.
say that. You say that until you have to monitor it.
Yeah. You see, you're on the mod side, on the admin side. That's not so much fun. See, no. I'm purely just, hey, I'm looking for the storylines. What do we got out here?
I'll say this. Last season we had a very chill, we had a very nice, a good group of guys, a good group of managers, and we didn't have too much drama. We've already had a little bit of drama this year, and the season hadn't even started yet. So it might be a fun season. I'm not getting into it. I'm not saying names, but it might be a fun season for the AHL chat. But we'll see.
Okay.
That's fair. That's fair. Trav, before we go here, or I guess before Mez goes, do you think, I know you said a lot of these guys are underpaid, do you think any of these guys, or I know you're not going to say names, but do you think a lot of them might get some late night bids that might push them up, or do you think this is kind of where the competitive pool is right now?
I think there are two different schools of thought when it comes to managing, and I think that there are managers who want to shoot their shot with their 750Ks, and they'll do it right off the bat. And then there are managers who will wait and see where their big price guys go and how high those guys are going to go. So I think that
The shot just now tomorrow, right there.
I'll be shocked. I have 5 names in my head that when I wake up tomorrow, and if they're still at their current prices, I'll be stunned. So yes, I think there'll be some overnight bids. There'll probably be a couple managers who wake up a little. Actually, truthfully, I think there's a lot of guys who don't even go to sleep when it comes to bidding. But there'll be some managers who are maybe spiking their phones at between 2 and 3 a.m. But
Yeah. Get your rotation group in. Have a little conversation every 5 to 6 hours. Make sure you don't miss on a set of pool of players that you're talking about.
So the year that I managed with Corey 95, and he was the guy that didn't sleep, and I was the guy who was like, I'm not putting my bids. Like, I'm good. I'm gonna go to sleep. He put in a bid for us on our behalf that I was not pleased about at all. At 3:30 in the morning, something like that, and I woke up and I was like, "What are you?" Turns out it was one of the best bids we got all season. The guy helped us again. One of our forwards that we didn't trade ended up helping us win a cup, and he was stellar. So sometimes it works. Those guys who don't sleep, they get a little edgy, and they make some questionable decisions, but it worked out.
Sometimes they just go that way.
Not even just a guy that played with us a bunch, and maybe I wouldn't have given him maybe in a different position I would have given him a bid, but he ended up he pulled the trigger and it worked out for us. So, but sometimes it works out. Other times you want to spike your phone when you wake up and you see that you've lost 10 of your 15 bids. But some of these names I think will definitely change, and I don't hope for the managers that have them, but hope for the managers that don't have them that they do change, because there are some pretty low guys on this list right now.
Now, is the bidding timer changed depending on the times? I think that was a different thing, right? I don't know if
the bidding now is 36 hours because we're giving more time for, I think in the past was 48 or...
Yeah, it was 48.
Now it's 36 because we want more time to be able to establish those paid AGMs, and so for staff to be able to process, managers to find them. So yeah, it's a shorter bidding period.
All right, y'all. I'm going to do one more refresh.
It's good. I was going to say, is it true that depending on the time of the bid, still, I thought it was like if it's 3 a.m. bid, the timer is shorter, right? Or something like that. Is that true or no?
So there's prime time. So prime time, it's 6 hours. And then right now you're looking at these bids, they're 8 hours. So overnight they go to 8. And then during prime time, which I don't know if it's midnight. I don't know where it changes. But at one point they go to 8. At one point they go to 6.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Wannabe Callie says there are very good D-man without bids. I definitely believe it. Teams will certainly be looking out. Let me make sure I get the shout out. There is a cooldown on the shout out, so sorry for the delay, Birexsie.
You're good.
Boom. Appreciate you, Birexsie. Appreciate you, Holland 989. It's been great having you as well, Mr. Commish. Appreciate all your
I
insight.
appreciate you, man.
It's been a great time. I am going to send a raid on out. If you want to continue on with LG coverage, head on over to Holland 989. I owe one of my mods a raid for sure, so I'm going to send the party on over there. My boy Psychotics, he's out there playing Mini Royale. If you haven't seen it, it's like Sarge's Heroes from back on the N64 day. Let me just date myself a little bit, but it's a battle royale where you're basically army men in Andy's room. I mean, that's the only way I can really describe it. Is
As I said earlier, that's fun.
it's Toy
That sounds
Story.
fun, honestly.
So it's a lot of
I
fun.
saw that, yeah, it's
Please check out my boy Psychotics. Give him a follow. We're trying to grow his channel. He just got his affiliate status. So appreciate everybody hanging out, having a great time. Hope it's a great season for everybody. Hope it's nice and competitive. I'll certainly be announcing AHL games throughout the season, so be on the lookout for that. Have I missed anything else? We got additional bidding obviously coming up for the ECHL, the CHL, NCAA draft here on the Mezcast next Saturday. We'll follow it up the following day, opening night. We'll have Quad Box Mania. We'll show everything. As many games as we can possibly get in, as many unique teams. So be on the lookout for that. And appreciate everybody's help. It's been a wonderful time. And here we go, lining up the raid. Again, my boy Psychotics. Please check him out. Please give him some love. And again, if you're looking for more hockey action, make sure you send it on over to Holland 989. Y'all have a great night. All right, y'all. I am off on my end.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, man.
Mine. Yeah, appreciate you guys.
Fun. It was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. It was a great time. So I know we're definitely looking to really expand what's available. So plenty
yeah.
out there for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. Good job. Let me know if you
I have a
need
decent
anything
amount of
during the
ideas.
season. Let me
so-
know.
Awesome.
Yeah, I have a bunch of ideas.
Well, the VOD will be available. I'll make sure it's everyone's able to see it here shortly.
I appreciate that.
See you guys.
Have a great night.
Yeah.